What a wild card weekend so far. It's been okay. So that the Steelers Bills game ended up being a little bit more interesting than I think we all thought it was going to be in the first half. But man, the Steelers, dude. I mean, okay, so they didn't have T.J. Watt. They're on like their third quarterback of the season. So I mean, what did y'all really expect? I think this is just more proof that Mike Tomlin is like the pinnacle. He's like the reverse Jeff Fisher. I think I made this analogy before. Like, Jeff Fisher went 7-9 all the time and just like couldn't find, was just like allergic to like real success. And Mike Tomlin, how do I put this? Mike Tomlin barely has winning seasons all the time, barely finds success, and then that one time he won a Super Bowl with Bill Cowher's team, and, he had some, BS kind of lead him there. Whereas Jeff Fisher, if y'all recall, Jeff Fisher lost a Super Bowl because of some last-second BS. So, yeah, Mike Tomlin is like, is as close as you can be to Jeff. He's like if Jeff Fisher was successful. That's basically who Mike Tomlin is. And I was watching Urinating Tree stream before this, kind of on and off because I had some work to do. I still have some work to do, but we're here now. But I was watching Urinating Tree's stream before this, and he was talking about how like he was talking about how like Mike Tomlin might be stepping down at the end of the year, or he wants to move on. And like honestly, the Steelers should have moved on from Mike Tomlin after 2018. Like that collapse with that ridiculous soap opera-y team, like that should have been the end of Mike Tomlin at that point. But at the same time, with the fact that he always keeps them in contention, it's like Marvin Lewis all over again. Like that's what it is, right? Like Mike Tomlin is Marvin Lewis with a couple playoff wins here and there. And then he won a Super Bowl that one time. Which, by the way, Marvin Lewis won a Super Bowl one time. When it was with the Ravens, it was a defensive coordinator. But that was pretty much like Marvin Lewis was, basically built that 2000 Baltimore Ravens defense, which everybody's like, the greatest defense of all time. So, he got a lot of passes in Cincinnati for the fact that, things were better than they were before he was here. And also he was like known as like a really great up and coming coach before he got to Cincinnati. So I think Mike Tomlin just gets a pass for the Steelers because they aren't bad with him. And I don't know. And he won a Super Bowl that one time, like well over a decade ago at this point. But yeah, Steelers are out. Really, kind of more or less. They didn't get as embarrassed as the Browns, but still got a little bit embarrassed. And feels good. Feels good. If only the Chiefs could have lost, but that would be relying on the Dolphins, which you watched my stream. You cannot rely on the Dolphins. Just do not do it. Your life will be so much better if you don't rely on the Dolphins or the Cowboys, for that matter. So anyway, I'm taking too long to get to these comments. Anyway, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. What up, my guy? What up, Daniel Barry? Mikey says, "Hey Kyle, I'll be here till the game because I will stream." I know you're going to be streaming, Mikey. So, we might raid you at halftime or something, depending on how many people. I mean, we got like 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 people in the chat right now who aren't you. So I don't know. Maybe we have like 10 people in the chat or something by halftime. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. But we'll come say hi to you at halftime. But you're not going to really be a big fan of my stream, though, because I want the Bucs to win. You know this. So you probably do not want the Bucs to win at all. So it might not be the most fun stream for you of all time. How about them Bills, though? How about them Bills? Josh Allen, dude. Josh Allen, people asking the question, is Josh Allen a top 3 quarterback? And, I don't think he is. I think he's got the talent to potentially be the best quarterback. I think Josh Allen's talent, his ceiling, might be higher than Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen is insane when he gets in a rhythm, but he's just so damn inconsistent. He's got Andy Dalton level consistency, So Josh Allen's if Andy Dalton was way more talented. That would be Josh Allen, But so I mean, like he's really good. No major disrespect. It's hard for me to really believe in the Bills. Luckily, they drew the Steelers, who had who don't have a quarterback, and also didn't have T.J. Watt for this game. So, if they had lost to the Steelers, then I think we could all go ahead and bury the Bills for the rest of like eternity. Because like, there's no way on earth that the Steelers should have honestly, the Bills should have won by more. Like they kind of slowed down in like the in the second quarter, in the third quarter. Well, mostly the third quarter. But I mean, they kind of slowed down for a little bit there, right? Like I mean, it was feeling like the Bills were gonna beat the crap out of the Steelers, and they ended up not really fully beating the crap out of them. I mean, like by the end, yeah, they kind of like that score. It wasn't super close, but it wasn't like as big of a deficit as I think that game deserved to be. Don't forget to go live. I appreciate you watching my back, Mikey. I think I'm at the point where I've got that under control. But again, I still appreciate you looking out for me. So, Sport Card Collector says hi. What's up, Sport Card Collector? I don't remember you from the chat much. I mean, you might have been part of the Grossi raid, I don't know, but what's going on? If you're not subbed, feel free to subscribe, and yeah, welcome. And I'm a small enough channel that if you make a comment, you get up on the screen no matter what. So yep, appreciate you showing up, Sport Card Collector. And you're a Packers fan, so I imagine you're pretty happy. After being the piss out of the Dallas Cowboys. Mikey says, I'll take Mike Tomlin. I'm sure you would. Mike Tomlin is certainly a better coach than Dennis Allen. He's a voodoo wizard, and he will always have you in some form of contention, whether you're a good team or not. The problem with Mike Tomlin is I feel like he's such like a scrappy coach. He's not an amazing coach, and he's definitely not like a great personnel manager, but like he's such a scrappy coach that I feel like he masks a lot of problems. And the Steelers for years have just kind of like been subsisting off of like, being good but not great. And I think it's mainly just because like, Mike Tomlin makes them look a lot better than they really are. So when they run into a real challenge, they always hit a wall, like the Steelers after the Super Bowl, of course, ever since Mike Tomlin's been in charge, the Steelers have had this bad habit of just like, falling in the face of like big challenges constantly. And I mean, I think it's hilarious personally because, fuck the Steelers forever and always. But that's, it is what it is. If Mike Tomlin steps down, then expects the Steelers to become a doormat in the NFL for some time to come. I would love that, Mark. I would love everything about my soul would be rejuvenated. The Kansas City Chiefs could win the Super Bowl every single year, but if the Steelers are a doormat, then my life would be much happier. So that would be awesome. I despise the Steelers, and I am so glad that they are no longer a dominant force, and we can point and laugh at them now. If Mike Tomlin steps down, I don't know if the Steelers would become a doormat for a long time to come, but that is a possibility, and I sure hope it happens. I have trouble buying into that because I've been traumatized by them over the years, right? Like I've been like, oh, they're gonna suck, and then they don't suck, like. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see, but. Then again, they wouldn't have that Mike Tomlin voodoo magic, would they? And I've been predicting for years that the Steelers were gonna I genuinely I think the Steelers are gonna go like 4 or 5 wins this year, guys. 6, something like that, and they never do. And the main reason I think is because like Mike Tomlin has just been finding ways to pull victory out of literally nowhere. So. I mean, yeah, I guess if they're, I don't want them to be like a true doormat, right? Because like that means that they're going to get like the number 1 draft pick and then, they can build their team back up. I want them to be like a 5-6, win football team from here until eternity, like 7 at most. 7 at most, because, that keeps them from getting like really super high draft picks, but they're still bad, and I get to point and laugh at them as I want an extended period of them being bad. And then, if Joe Burrow comes back, healthy and the Bengals can get back to being Super Bowl contenders, that is my dream life. Like, my dream football life is for the Bengals to be really good and the Steelers to be really bad for an extended period of time. Like, if we can get that, I will be a happy person. And like Chiefs fans come in here acting like, you're like, the Chiefs beat the shit out of you guys and you must be so angry. And I am, yes, I don't like the Chiefs. I've been clear about that. Yes, I'm very I'm butthurt because the Chiefs are beating the Bengals. Sure, absolutely. But at the same time, like, it's not the same as how I feel about the Steelers. Like, yes, the Chiefs fans are obnoxious and annoying and stupid, and if y'all want to take pride in that, then absolutely go ahead. But at the same time, like, for me, it's not the same as the way I feel about the Steelers, because for the Steelers, it's going back. God, my whole life has just been like a constant hatred of the Steelers, and you can't overcome that by, the Chiefs getting good for a little bit and then being kind of an annoying fly. That by the way, we have a pretty even rivalry with, right? Like, I mean, we beat them a few times, they've beaten us a couple times, but also the most recent time was with Jake Browning. But I mean, you got to give them credit. I mean, it's 1-1 in AFC championships, right? So that's as far as like the games that matter the most. We're even. We're tied. So, let's see what happens in the next one. Let's go Bucs. I agree, Jeff. Let's go Bucs. Let's go Bucs. Baker Mayfield feeling dangerous tonight. Mikey says, I just finished my daily dose of We Are the World listens. Okay, okay, that's cool. I'm glad you like it. If Brian Daboll returns to Buffalo as the offensive coordinator, then the consistency issues go away. I don't agree with that, Mark. I don't agree with that because, like, I don't think Brian Daboll. I think Brian Daboll knew how to get the most out of Josh Allen, but at the same time, I don't think. I think Josh Allen was a ticking time bomb this whole time. And he's still good. He's still competent. He's still like a really talented player. I just even with Brian Daboll as his offensive coordinator again, I don't think that Josh Allen is like, I mean, he might be a top 3 quarterback. I don't know, like, but he'd be number 3 clearly. I mean, like the gap between Mahomes and Burrow and Allen for me is wide, because I just can't trust Josh Allen. Like, I can trust Patrick Mahomes. I can trust Joe Burrow. I mean, like, do they have their bad games? Of course they do, but like, they don't implode with the regularity that Josh Allen implodes. Like, they have bad games here and there, and, I would say overall this year for Patrick Mahomes has been proof that he's not, that he is in fact mortal. He's not, like, he's not a system quarterback by any means, but the system was helping him. The Eric Bieniemy system, I think, was helping Patrick Mahomes. So, that plus, having, a not, over the hill Travis Kelce probably helped out a lot too. But I mean, you could still see this year Patrick Mahomes is really, really good. You just don't get that feeling with Josh Allen on a consistent enough basis. At halftime, you might sing the song. Well, there you go, Mikey. Do it. Do whatever makes you happy. Jalen Hurts is playing with a broken finger on his throwing hand. I did see he'd be playing. His finger's broken on his throwing hand. He'll be limited, and plus AJ Brown's out, so yeah, I'm actually, as you can see, I predicted the Bucs to win this game, and it's just because like the Eagles have a lot of injuries, right? Like the Eagles have a lot of things to overcome. Jalen Hurts is playing, but he's playing with a broken finger, so I don't know about that. And then like the Eagles' third quarterback, Tanner McKee, is out, so I don't even know who their backup quarterback is. But, I mean, let's say Jalen Hurts, throws a few balls, and then he's like, I can't do this, he tweaks it a little bit, he's like, I gotta go out. And then you got, who do you got? You got Marcus Mariota comes in. Marcus Mariota is a, talented enough quarterback, he could play well. But let's say he gets hurt. Who are you gonna have in there? If Marcus Mariota goes out, like, you're kind of banking on Marcus Mariota not getting hurt here, because, like, you don't have your third quarterback in there. Jalen Hurts was doubtful before this game, so there's a decent possibility he doesn't finish the game. So, like, what if Marcus Mariota gets hurt? I don't know. I feel like this is the Eagles have made it harder for themselves than they needed to make it. So even though Hurts is playing, I'm still thinking that the Buccaneers win this game just because Baker Mayfield feeling dangerous. Did you see the Bills paid $20 an hour and free food to shovel the stadium out for the game? Yeah, I did, and I also saw they didn't do a very good job of it. Like I saw some posts on Twitter, and they basically were not really able to make the I think they got the field ready, but the stands were still kind of like a mess. So. I mean, but hey, that's really cool though. I saw somebody like a Bengals person on Twitter ask if the Bengals offered you $20 an hour to come out and shovel snow for the team for a playoff game, would you do it? And I said absolutely, hell yes. You can bet your ass I'd do it. First of all, I think $20 an hour means a little bit more here in Cincinnati, Ohio, than it does in New York. $20 an hour here is it's not, it's like you're not living in the lap of luxury or anything at $20 an hour, but that's pretty decent money for the cost of living around. Cost of living in Cincinnati is super low, guys. So $20 an hour, hell yeah, I'd go shovel snow at the Bengals. My wife, who doesn't like football, would probably go shovel snow at the Bengals stadium for $20 an hour. Are you kidding me? Me and my dad are gonna stream tomorrow. Well, there you go, Mikey. There you go. If I have time, I might not have time, but if I have time, I might come check it out. Here's the thing about getting the number one pick. It doesn't matter if you can't draft well at all. Well, that's true, but it's not like the Steelers don't draft well. The Steelers' biggest problem, I feel like, lately has been they don't really have a good strategy for putting together a team going forward. They're basically just trying to subsist on the talent they already have and just ride it as long as it'll take them. Which is why they keep going 9-8, 10-7, and losing in the first round and doing just generally not being good. Being, okay, let me rephrase, being good but not great. That's why high-end mediocrity is basically what the Steelers are, because I don't feel like they have a plan for going forward. They just have with Ben Roethlisberger, they were just let's just ride this one out as long as we can take it. Hopefully he has some magic left in him, we go win another Super Bowl. That didn't happen, and so now they're just kind of stuck with what do we do now? We didn't really build a team, but they're still not doing it. They're just we've got Najee Harris and he was really good in his at Alabama and has flash signs at times in the NFL. So we're just gonna ride off of that, but we don't actually need to be able to build a great offensive line for them. They got Pat Freiermuth, but who the hell's gonna throw Pat Freiermuth the ball? And George Pickens, but George Pickens kind of getting some toxic vibes from him. And if the rumors are true and Carl Pickens is his dad, then I'm not surprised, because Carl Pickens, as much as I loved watching him play football, Carl Pickens was a toxic motherfucker. The Bengals have an entire clause in all the contracts they make players sign these days called the Carl Pickens clause, which is basically you can't talk trash about the team in front of the media, because Carl Pickens was just a douchebag about it all the time. So yeah. Okay, I'm really confused. So the Buccaneers also have their third quarterback not playing today, John Wolford. But they have Baker Mayfield, and they have their backup quarterback, so of course they also have, let's see, do they have anybody I recognize? No, they don't. Yeah, no, I don't see anybody on the Buccaneers inactives list that I recognize. But again, for the Eagles, they have A.J. Brown out, which isn't good. Sidney Brown, I feel like I've heard that name, the safety. I don't know. Rashad Penny's out. But, obviously they got, what's his name? DeAndre Swift. They got DeAndre Swift. So, yeah, they should be fine on that, but they might not have the 1-2 punch there, So, I feel like the Eagles are banged up and the Buccaneers are hungry. So, that's why I think. I used to respect the Chiefs fans. Dude, when I was a kid, I used to kind of like the Chiefs. Because the Chiefs had, I really liked the Chiefs helmets, the red and the arrowhead logo and everything like that. When I was a kid, I thought I actually kind of liked the Chiefs because of that. And throughout basically up until Patrick Mahomes, and even with Patrick Mahomes for a little while, I respected the Chiefs. I was always hey, look, the Chiefs You know, if they're going to be the big dominant team now, that's awesome. You know, like at least it's not the Steelers or some team I don't like, but you know now. But then the Bengals got good, and no team took it harder than the Kansas City Chiefs. Like no fan base got more toxic about the Bengals being good than the Chiefs, and that's hard to compete with because like you know. Obviously, the Steelers are focused on their own demise, and that's not a problem. Browns fans back and forth, but the Browns fans back and forth's always been there. It's kind of like an old school rivalry that doesn't really. There's hatred there, but there's not like that kind of hatred there. And then the Ravens fans have been toxic on and off, but there's also plenty of them that aren't. And it's not to say that there aren't Chiefs fans out there that I get along with. There are. They're Chiefs fans. They're Chiefs fans who follow this channel, and I respect them. There's a couple Chiefs fans I've met through like doing sports stuff over the last, over my 15-year career, and they're all pretty cool people and everything like that. But it just like the fan base as a whole, no team has been as toxic in response to the Bengals being good than the Kansas City Chiefs. Like the Chiefs have just taken it so the wrong way. Like I mean yes, like do our players talk trash sometimes? Sure, yeah, theirs do too. Like all teams' players for them. Like I mean not all teams. Like there's teams that don't kind of have a culture of being silent, putting your head down and working and stuff like that, and that's great. The Chiefs are not one of them. I mean, like the Bengals players talk trash, and they have a way of getting like the media to pay a little bit more attention to them sometimes. But I think part of that is the fact that the Bengals weren't really very good, and then they suddenly burst on the scene and were good, and they were immediately talking trash. And then you had like Eli Apple and Jamar Chase like has a big mouth, but at the same time it's just like that's not terribly uncommon for the NFL. And Chiefs fans just get so victim complexy about it. Like, I've never seen a fan base get so toxic about another football team that really has mostly nothing to do with them being good. Like, yeah, we talked a little bit of trash about being 3-0 against them and stuff like that. But, like, they would have done the same thing, Like, I mean, there was the whole thing last year with the mayor and Burrowhead and everything. And that was, The Burrowhead thing was fun. It was funny, and that I'll take the lumps on that one. We talked trash and we didn't, win. So fair enough. That the Burrowhead thing, I get it. I get it. I'd be pissed about that too. But that's like the one thing of like all the other things. Y'all need to chill the hell out. The Burrowhead thing, okay, fair enough. That one's a pretty good talking point. But I mean, like, the mayor thing, like, dude, we disowned the mayor over that. Like, we were like, bro, you need to shut up. This is not your place to talk like that. Like if you're going to do it, at least don't be cringy about it. But he's a politician, so he's going to be cringy about it. So the mayor thing was weird. But, again, I've never seen another fan base take trash talk like that before. The Chiefs fans are so, for being a dynasty, they're so like victim complexy. Get off your cross, like for real. Chiefs sucks. That's a good next one to go through. Hi, how you doing? Chiefs sucks. Your top 10 quarterbacks as of right now. That's a good one. Well, that depends. What are we talking? We talking about overall? We talking about just in 2023? Because if we're talking about just in 2023, then it's probably like Lamar Jackson's clearly the best quarterback this year. I wouldn't even put Patrick Mahomes at number 2. It's hard to say, though, just because like the Dolphins got smashed. Because like Tua's been really good this year, but obviously they got smashed in the wild card game. So, but I think if we're just talking about the season, I'd go Hurts 1, Tua 2, Patrick Mahomes 3. Hurts 4. Again, if we're just keeping it to the regular season, Dak Prescott 5. And then Josh Allen 6. Obviously, he had a really good, again, if we're keeping it to the regular season, Josh Allen just hasn't been as good as he normally has been lately. So I put Josh Allen at 6. Who else is even? I mean, I'm gonna put Joe Burrow at 7. I know putting him in the top 10 because of the way the season's gone, whatever. But at the same time, when Joe Burrow was healthy, he was on it. He probably deserves to be higher than 7, honestly. But I'm going to be conservative in putting Joe Burrow at 7 for just the 2023 year. And then 8, who would be 8? Let's give it to Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield can be at 8. 9... I don't know. I'm kind of running out of brain juice on this one. I don't want to say Geno Smith. I mean, maybe Brock Purdy. I don't know. Brock Purdy was up and down this year, but we're all the way down at 9 at this point, so maybe Brock Purdy. And then at 10, I almost want to say Russell Wilson. He did get benched, and he did have some bad games, but at the same time, I think Russell Wilson had a better season than people remember. I mean, is there anybody else who fits this bill? I mean, maybe Derek Carr, but even then, not really. I know it's hard to say for just 2023. I said Dak. Obviously not Bryce Young. Probably not Derek Carr. I already said Baker. Not Ritter. Kirk Cousins got hurt. I mean, he was doing pretty good, but he got hurt. Jordan Love. There you go. Jordan Love. I mean, he had some up and downs as well, but I mean, he kind of came on, there at the end. So we'll give Jordan Love number 10. Now, overall in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes is number 1. I want to make the argument that Joe Burrow's better than him, but Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. I argued Joe Burrow until this year. This year, Joe Burrow got off to too slow of a start, and I mean Patrick Mahomes didn't have the best year, but it was too weird of a year for Joe Burrow for me to say he's the number 1 quarterback. So it's all right. So the Buccaneers are going to get the ball first. So it's Patrick Mahomes 1, it's Joe Burrow 2, it's I'm going to say Jalen Hurts 3, I'm going to say Josh Allen 4. That's me being generous, but I'm going to give him 4. Number 5. Trevor Lawrence should be, but I mean, it was such a rough year for him that I don't know. Baker Mayfield's in the shotgun formation on 1st and 10. He's going to pump, and he's got good protection. He just way overthrows Mike Evans. I don't know what the hell that was about, because he had great protection on that play. Number 5, who's the 5th best quarterback? Tua. Tua's the 5th best quarterback in the NFL. And then I'll do 6 through 10 at the next commercial break because I want to focus on this game and also catch up with these. They should have DeAndre Swift as quarterback 3. That'd be funny. Kyle, you're rooting for the Buccaneers. I better not hear shit about me rooting for the Steelers. Well, you know what? You did it first, Mikey. All right, Baker Mayfield with a strike over the middle to Cade Otton, number 88, and that's going to be a Buccaneers first down. Mikey, you were rooting for the Steelers before I said I was rooting for the Buccaneers. So I mean, okay, fair enough, but at the same time, you did it first, so that's on you. To be fair, Kenny Pickett is clutch, kind of. Sort of, not really. I mean, he's more clutch than anything, but, he's still not good. Baker Mayfield fakes a handoff. He rolls back. He throws, and he's got Mike Evans this time down to the 40-yard line, and Baker is dealing now. Baker's dealing. He's cooking up something. Baker's a chef out there, slinging knives. What, Mark Kearns? Nope, Derek Carr sucks. Well, yeah, he doesn't, though. I understand why you say that, but Derek Carr doesn't suck. Derek Carr is pretty good, and I think your coaching is horrendous, Mikey. I don't think that's Derek Carr's fault. All right, Baker hands the ball off to was that Rachaad White? Either way, it's an 8-yard pickup. I think it was Rachaad White. He's averaged for the first 80% of the game, and then the last 20% of the game, he randomly transforms into John Elway. Who, Kenny Pickett? He does sometimes, but not consistently enough for me to call him clutch. But there have been some games where he's done that, yes. Yeah, I think Kenny Pickett's the worst starting quarterback in the NFL. At least the worst quarterback who intended to be starting in the NFL this year. And I'm including Bryce Young in that, and I'll explain why here in a second. But anyway, it's going to be a handoff, and after bouncing backwards and then running forwards, Rachaad White picks up the first down. Only about 2 yards, that's all he needed. So yeah, okay, so with Bryce Young, Bryce Young was bad this year, right? But he's a rookie, and he had a horrendous situation with Frank Reich being fired for no reason. Bryce Young's probably going to have his growth stunted by the Panthers, but at the same time, I think Kenny Pickett just, there's higher expectations for Kenny Pickett, and he just has not met any of them. Rachaad White takes the handoff up the middle, and he gets spun around, but he picks up about 7 yards. Yeah, I know you're referring to Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett's just, I guess maybe he's not the worst, because, Bryce Young's probably worse. But Kenny Pickett's not a good starting quarterback. At least for, people who are supposed to, as far as, reality versus expectations, or expectations versus reality goes, I think Kenny Pickett's the worst. Because, Kenny Pickett should be better than he is, and he's just not. All right, Baker Mayfield's going to throw it wildly to Cade Otton, who cannot come up with it, and wouldn't have mattered anyway, because he would have gotten tackled immediately. So it's going to be 3rd and 3. It's going to be 3rd and 3. I think, well, no, never mind. All right, Baker Mayfield, looking around, audibling, it appears. He's going to take the shotgun snap. He rolls back. He throws it. He's got Rachaad White, but he's going to be hit in the backfield. But he gets out of the tackle, and he picks up, I think he picks up the first down. It was close, but I think the refs are giving it to him. There you go. Rachaad White getting out of the tackle and getting that first down. So let's see. Obviously, Lamar Jackson this year has been the best quarterback in the NFL. I think I'd put him at number 6 as far as the overall goes, because the consistency just isn't always there. This year he was incredible, but he's just had too many down times for me to really be oh yeah, he's a top 5 quarterback. I don't know. We'll see. If he has another year like that next year, then he'll rise up in my ranks. But I'd say Lamar Jackson's number 6. All right, it's going to be a fake handoff. Baker Mayfield's going to roll out of pressure, and he's just going to keep it himself. He's going to slide to about the 10-yard line, and that's about an 8-yard pickup. I forgot about C.J. Stroud. No, yeah, of course C.J. Stroud's in my top 10. I don't even remember what my... I'd probably put C.J. Stroud number 7 overall, behind Lamar Jackson, just because I need to see a little bit more out of him. But yeah, this year he definitely was the top 10 quarterback. I don't know. Throw him in at where did I have Joe Burrow at? 7, so throw him in before that. Baker Mayfield throws. He intends to get Cade Otton, but it is dropped. Or not dropped, it just, I can't really connect on that one. Either way, it's going to be 3rd and 3. So, yeah, C.J. Stroud. I don't even remember what my list was now, but where would I put C.J. Stroud? Probably number 4-ish. C.J. Stroud had a great year. All things considered, I'd probably put him, more down at 7 or something like that. But as far as 2023 goes, his results were incredible. Baker Mayfield overthrows the hell out of number 10 there. And he's looking around for a flag, but that throw was nowhere in the vicinity. So maybe holding, but that's about it. Yeah, no, CJ Stroud's totally in my top 10. I completely forgot about him. I tend to not. I'm not used to thinking about the Texans as a real football team. Like they've just been like this enigma of like, this team that's technically in the NFL, but like is definitely not competitive for a few years now. So I just kind of forgot they exist. Field goal's good, but I just kind of forget they exist half the time, even though they are good now. I will give them credit; they're really good now. I'm so used to like dismissing them entirely as a franchise. But yeah, no, CJ Stroud's good. CJ Stroud's really good, and I hate that, by the way, as the Ohio State hater that I am. I hate that CJ Stroud's really good, but he is. So yeah, congratulations to CJ Stroud for exceeding my expectations. Probably most people's expectations. I don't think anybody expected C.J. Stroud to be that good that quickly. I think there were plenty of people who thought C.J. Stroud was going to be good. Obviously, he was like considered to be a first-round draft pick, a clear first-round draft pick, easily top 15 type of thing and everything like that. But I don't think anybody expected him to be that good that quickly. And you know why? Because if they did, he would have been the number 1 overall pick. Like, unquestionably, he would have been the number 1 overall pick. And instead it was, what's his name? That guy from the defensive end, right? From Alabama. Will Anderson. It was Will Anderson, right? God, why is Google Chrome trying to make me use Yahoo search engine? What a joke. Oh, no, he was the 3rd pick. Who was the 1st pick? Was it C.J. Stroud? It wasn't C.J. Stroud, was it? No, it was Bryce Young. There you go. Yeah, C.J. Stroud was number 2. So, I mean, maybe the Texans were really high on him, but I think if people expected him to be as good as he was this quickly, the Panthers wouldn't have blinked twice. They would have taken him instead of Bryce Young. Then again, I don't know if C.J. Stroud is as good on the Panthers as he was with the Texans, because I think the Texans, especially after that Deshaun Watson trade, I think the Texans, and bringing in D'Amico Ryans, I think they were poised to kind of be, a pretty good football team going forward. So I think C.J. Stroud just happened to get in a really good situation. Bryce Young happened to get in a really, really bad situation. So, yeah. We facing a Matt Patricia defense. Yep, well, there's a lot of reasons I think the Bucs are going to win this game. Now, they didn't finish off that drive with a touchdown, unfortunately, but we'll see how their defense does against the Eagles' offense. Kenny Pickett over Aiden O'Connell? No. Well, yeah, of course. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said no. Yes, Kenny Pickett over Aiden O'Connell, but I'd take Jimmy Garoppolo over Kenny Pickett. I would definitely take Jimmy Garoppolo over Kenny Pickett. Well, because I don't really want to build around either of those guys, Kenny Pickett probably has more upside than Jimmy Garoppolo, but as far as what you actually get, I think Jimmy Garoppolo, has more of it. Kenny Pickett, I don't think would be doing good at all on any team. Whereas Jimmy Garoppolo, I think, is the guy you can plug in and potentially win some games with. DeAndre Swift takes the handoff, and he's going to get down to about the 9-yard line, so we've got some offense early on in this game. We did not have a very good wild card weekend, but we got a really good game. We got one really, really, really good game. The Steelers game was, it wasn't the worst game, obviously. They kind of stopped getting pooped on by the Cowboys at one point, and then they kind of went back to getting pooped on by the Cowboys, but they at least made it semi-interesting, DeAndre Swift's going to take the handoff again, and he dives forward for a first down, and that's going to be at about the 36-7-yard line. So yeah, the Browns-Texans game was kind of interesting in the first half, but not that interesting. Chiefs-Dolphins was awful throughout. It wasn't even really that watchable. It was like, like the Chiefs had a touchdown in the first quarter and the touchdown in the fourth quarter, but it was just a very unwatchable game. The Chiefs and Dolphins was because like the Chiefs blew them out and they didn't even do well. So, all right, Jalen Hurts takes a shotgun snap and he throws. He's caught there by number 80, I think. Jones. Number 80 is Jones. I have no idea who that is, so I got to bring up the roster. Should already had the roster up. That's my bad. Julio Jones is on the Eagles? What? When did that happen? I'm over here like, number 80. I don't know who that is. It's fucking Julio Jones, apparently. All right, it's going to be another completion. That time to 88. And it's going to be about a 3 or 4 yard pickup. So it's going to be 3rd down and 1, I believe. That's Dallas Goedert. I do know who that is. Obviously, I know who Julio Jones is, too. I just had no idea he was on the Eagles. How the hell is it Julio Jones? Apparently he signed with the Eagles in October. So there's your answer. He's been with the Eagles basically for the last 2.5 months. And I just completely didn't notice. All right, Jalen Hurts, shotgun snap. He's going to roll back, gets hit as he throws, and almost made it to a target, but it's just knocked down by, I believe, Antoine Winfield Jr., and it's going to be 4th and 2. Eagles are going to have to punt. So the Buccaneers defense comes up. Buccaneers defense comes up and gets it done. Now the offense needs to pick it up a little bit, but, obviously if defense plays like that, they'll be fine. Great coverage there by Antoine Winfield Jr., though. All right. And there's the punt from Braden Mann. And Devin Tompkins is going to be returning it, but he calls for a fair catch at about the 20-yard line. All right. Buccaneers offense is going to come out, and we are at commercial. So, exciting. Commercials. Love it. Gotta love those commercials. Not really. Terrible. Hate them. Worst thing ever invented, commercials. I mean, not really. It's I hate watching them, Like, obviously, commercials... Frankly, commercials are the whole reason the entertainment industry, exists. But, nobody likes watching them, though. But the entertainment industry wouldn't exist without ads because that's pretty much how entertainers make their money is through ads. I mean, I hope to make money on this YouTube channel one day, and it'll, the primary way that people make money on YouTube is through ads. You could do crowdfunding, and some people, do quite well with crowdfunding. Tom Grossi's a great example of how crowdfunding can create a career. But it's not always, that's a very rare thing to happen. Tom Grossi did it because he just hammered away at it for years and was just completely laser focused on it the whole time. And it's just rare that you're gonna find something like that. You're gonna be I'm passionate about this YouTube channel, but I can't even be laser focused on it because I got kids, I got a mortgage, Right now I'm in school, I got all these other things going on, and I just, as much as I want to give everything I have to this channel, I can't always do that. But, when you have a case like Tom Grossi, where he's able to do that partially just because he's an insane workaholic, and I'll admit, I don't have the ability to be as much of a workaholic as he is. When you do that, though, special things can happen, and they have with him. Frank Reich wanted to take C.J. Stroud, but David Tepper meddled and chose Bryce Young. And that's exactly why I said it's ridiculous that the Panthers fired him. Because it's not Frank Reich's fault that they're bad. Frank Reich, I think, was a good coach, and he was just in a horrible, ridiculous situation. And so, like, firing him was silly. I hope Frank Reich gets another chance of being a head coach because I feel like the Colts kind of did him a little dirty at the end there, but I really think the Panthers did him really dirty. All right. 1st and 10, Baker Mayfield takes a shotgun snap, and he's going to hand the ball off to Roddy White, but it's going to be stopped because there is a false start on the play. So that's going to back the Buccaneers up. Can't do that. The way Baker's wheeling and dealing, I wouldn't, I don't think this is going to kill their drive or anything like that. But is that Josh Palmer? No, Trey Palmer. Okay, Trey Palmer, rookie receiver out of Nebraska. I thought it would have been weird because like Josh Palmer is a pretty young player. There's no reason he would have left the Chargers or something. But all right. Give me a shotgun snap for Baker Mayfield. Rolls back. Got it. There you go. So that's what I'm saying. Baker Mayfield. He's got the ball to number 19. He's wheeling and dealing again. Feeling dangerous. He's got the ball to David Moore. There's another flag, though. What is the flag? I think they're calling holding on the Buccaneers. That's rough. All right. Oh, personal foul. Face mask. On the Eagles, okay. Well, I saw one of the refs doing this, so I thought it was going to be holding, and then it could have been on the Eagles, but most of the time holding's called on the offense. So, but no, it's actually a face mask on Zach Cunningham. So that's going to give the Buccaneers even more yards after the catch. Oh yeah. Zach Cunningham definitely came in there and just like totally ripped at his face mask. Can't do that. Can't do that, bro. And it wasn't like the most egregious face mask like of all time, face mask rip, but you can't really do that at all because you could snap a dude's neck doing that. Baker goes for it all, and Mike Evans, did he drop that? It's like it was a good ball by Baker Mayfield, and it looked like Mike Evans had a chance at it, but it went through his hands. But I'd like to see a replay of that because here we go, because it looked like Mike Evans dropped it, which I don't usually expect out of Mike Evans. A lot of hand fight. Yep, yeah, he just dropped it. I mean, James Bradbury is definitely being pretty handsy there, but not enough to really call pass interference. But yeah, Mike, that went right through Mike Evans' hands, which is weird because he usually has pretty damn good hands. Rachaad White's going to take the handoff, and he only picks up about 3 yards. So suddenly, the Buccaneers offense is, after feeling like they were on fire, now they're kind of losing momentum a little bit. So is Mac Jones or Sam Howell better than Kenny Pickett? Well, I don't know if Mac Jones counts as a starter anymore. I think Kenny Pickett's better than Mac Jones, but I think the Patriots have given up on Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is done. Sam Howell, though, yeah, I think Sam Howell's better than Kenny Pickett. Baker Mayfield takes a shotgun snap. He's going to roll back. Throws. Got good protection. He's got a man. He's down to the 20. Jukes and hits the 15 to the 10 to the 5, and he's into the end zone. That's what David Moore, right? Number 19, David Moore. That was a great play by him. Great play by David Moore there. There you go. There you go. Buccaneers get their first touchdown of the game. I want to see this replay because that was a great play by David Moore. It was a very good throw by Baker. That was like a first, like a first overall pick type of throw there by Baker Mayfield. And he's got that in him. There you go. It's a nice slant route, and oh boy, the Eagles defenders just ran into each other, and David Moore basically was wide open, and he did, to get that touchdown. He had to make a few people miss in the deep field, but yeah, that was busted coverage because the Eagles defenders ran into each other. So that was kind of funny. All right, the extra point is good, and the Buccaneers take it's not a 10-0. The Eagles got a field goal, or did they? Oh no, it is a 10-0 lead. Okay, cool. So it's a 10-0 lead. Buccaneers beating the Eagles pretty handedly right now. My prediction was that the Buccaneers win 27-21, but and right now it's definitely not that close. Now, don't get me wrong, it's the first quarter, so, I'm not saying that it's going to stay like this. Like, pretty much every game, not every game, but I mean, there's been quite a few games that have looked like absolute blowouts, that have looked like most of these games have not looked in the second quarter like they've looked in the first quarter. So you've had obviously the Steelers Bills game. The Steelers Bills game looked like really uncompetitive in the first half, and then the Steelers kind of like. The Steelers' defense at least started playing better in the second half, but the offense never really heated up. But I mean, that first quarter, the Bills were killing them in the first quarter. They got out to like a 21-0 lead at one point. That was by the second quarter, but still. But then the Steelers kind of started making a little bit of a comeback, and it got kind of interesting there at the end, but the Steelers just kind of fell back apart. And so that 31-17 scoreline, I think, is a pretty good representation of what happened. Because the Steelers it wasn't really a particularly close game. But it also wasn't a massive blowout either. The Steelers definitely made that a little less embarrassing than, like, the Browns game, right? Or the Dolphins. Honestly, the Dolphins should have lost by more. But, luckily for them, the Chiefs' offense just isn't what it used to be. But, the Packers-Cowboys, the Cowboys had a little bit of a comeback, and that was interesting. The Rams-Lions game was quite high-scoring in the first half, and then, it was all defense in the second half, and, the Lions ended up winning, but it was really close by the end of it. It looked like the Lions might run away with it in that first quarter, just didn't stay that way. So, I mean, like, yeah, it's like every time I've said something about a game in this, I will say that's the one thing that is nice about these wild card games is at the very least you can't guarantee that the second half is going to be like the first half. Now, for the most part, that's not necessarily a good thing because you've had some competitive first halves and then some not so competitive second halves. But in some cases, like with the what was it? The Packers-Cowboys game. It was nice to see the Cowboys make a little bit of a comeback that way. At least the second half of the game was interesting. First half of the game wasn't all that interesting unless your name's Tom Grossi. Although I'm sure he enjoyed it because he was streaming with his dad. So, and he gets to go gloat to Scooter on clickbait. So it's got to be fun. All right, Jalen Hurts under center, coming back out onto the field, got 1st and 10. He's going to hand the ball off to DeAndre Swift, who jukes out to the right a little bit, runs up the middle, and picks up about 2 yards. Maybe 3. 3. 3 yards. Yep, 2nd and 7. And Ronald Darby is hurt. I think it's Ronald Darby anyway. Number 0. Oh, Yaya Diaby. I thought it said Darby. Who's Ronald Darby? Am I being stupid when I said Ronald Darby? Oh, I guess he plays for the Ravens. Never played for the Bucs. Actually, used to play for the Eagles, for that matter. But he's currently a cornerback for the Ravens. I thought I saw Darby, but I guess I saw Diaby. But fair enough. Not entirely sure how he got hurt. He must have stepped on his leg wrong or something like that, which that's never good. That's never good if you're leaving because you stepped on your leg wrong, especially with the way the turf is these days. Because like you look at it and you think, oh yeah, he'll be fine, but then it turns out later he's not. So I mean, hopefully he is though. Jalen Hurts takes a shotgun snap. He fakes the handoff, and then he's going to throw it out to the left side to Watkins. Number 16. This is about a 3-yard pickup. Quez Watkins. Fourth-year receiver out of Southern Mississippi. Most sacks by a rookie this year. Apparently Yaya Diaby's up there. He's 7.5 behind Byron Young and Kobe Turner. Which is kind of crazy because he's a safety. So that's kind of nuts. You got a safety in most sacks by a rookie this year. So that could be rough for the Buccaneers defense then, if he's been that good. I don't know why I haven't heard of him, but anyway, Hurts going to try to throw to Goddard, but I think he dropped it. I don't know. It's going to be 4th and 2. The Eagles are going to have to punt again. Damn. I think it was a good throw by Hurts, and Goddard just dropped it. I could be wrong, but let's see here. Yep, empty formation, throws, got a little bit of pressure on him, and the camera just isn't even showing us. Here we go. Yep. I mean, I just think he put his hands in the wrong place. So, I mean, like, it would have been a very difficult catch where he had his hands at, but if he just extended his arms a little more, he probably would have made it. All right, so it's going to be returned from the 13-yard line. He gets a little bit of a head of steam and gets out to the 24-yard line and has a nasty tackle where he gets his head whipped around. But I guess they're not going to call anything, and he bumps right up, so that's pretty cool. Tommy DeVito is better than Kenny Pickett. Yeah, I think he is. You know, dude, yeah. I saw your other comment, Mark, before you deleted it. But yeah, I've got my family, or my family-in-law up in Connecticut. My wife's family up in Connecticut, her extended family. She's got a cousin. And they're all big Giants fans up there, and she's got a cousin. Calls him Tommy Cutlets. It's the most hilarious. I fucking love him. Calls him Tommy Cutlets. Tommy DeVito needs to go in the Hall of Fame just for his nicknames alone. I fucking love Tommy DeVito. And Tommy DeVito, I don't know, for a backup, Tommy DeVito was pretty good, you know? We talk about this being the year of the backup quarterback, but the fact of the matter is all the teams who ended up on a backup quarterback, other than the Steelers, didn't really end up doing anything this year. I mean, they had some interesting games here and there, but pretty much all the teams who made the playoffs were, led by a star quarterback, except for the Steelers, who were led by a star TJ Watt. And it's the Steelers, frankly, didn't have backup quarterbacks in who were playing notably well. Nobody was talking about oh yeah, you got Mitch Trubisky's playing so well. Brown, well, you're right about the Browns. It's weird because the Browns starting quarterback is Deshaun Watson, and he just hasn't really felt it feels like Joe Flacco should have been their starting quarterback. But yeah, okay, I'll give you Joe Flacco. But I mean, even then they got destroyed in the playoffs. So I mean, people talk about this being the year of the backup quarterback, but I mean, the fact of the matter is, all the relevant teams are on their starting quarterbacks. So, I mean, it's still yeah, having a backup quarterback's nice to kind of get you through some times, but if you got to play on your backup quarterback, you're probably screwed. If your starting quarterback's out for an extended period of time, you're probably screwed. Having a backup quarterback, Jake Browning, I hope they keep him around next year. If Joe Burrow has to miss a game or two, then, Jake Browning has, I think, a pretty good chance of getting them the win. But if you got to rely on Jake Browning for the rest of the year, you're screwed. And it's the same with any other backup. Baker Mayfield is going to hand the ball off that time to number 22. And he fights ahead for about 3 yards. Chase Edmonds. Former Arizona Cardinal Chase Edmonds. 6-year player out of Fordham. But yeah, I forgot about Joe Flacco, Mark, because honestly, Joe Flacco might be... I don't want to say he's better than Deshaun Watson, but for a little bit, he looked like he might have been better than Deshaun Watson. All right, pistol formation for Baker Mayfield. He takes the snap, throws. He's got Chase Edmonds again, and he picks up behind a nice little block there by Kieft, and he picks up first down. Kieft. His name is Kieft. Cool name. 2nd-year player out of Minnesota. Short for something? It's got to be, right? His name can't be just right? K-O? Okay, Keith's first name is not his legal name, not a nickname. Co is a derivative of Jacobus. It's pretty cool. All right. Whoa! Big end around by the Buccaneers and almost takes a loss of like 10 yards, but he makes a few people miss and he ends up gaining about 5 yards out of it. That's a hell of a play. Hell of a play for number 10, Trey Palmer. There's Palmer again. The guy who I thought was Josh Palmer earlier. 9 yards, by the way. He only picks up 9 yards. Not 9 yards. 4. I don't know. It was a good play. It was a good play. Okay, they ended up giving him 9 yards on the play total. So anyway, 2nd and 1, and Chase Edmonds takes it, and he bounces around and gets himself first down. There you go. Only like 2 yards, but you only needed 1, so it's all good. Buccaneers having a game so far. The ESPN win metric currently gives them a 70.8% chance to win this game right now. And if they get a touchdown, I imagine that's going to go up significantly. Now, I mean, it's still the first quarter, but, so far, Buccaneers looking like they're definitely the better team. I'll get to your comment here in a sec, Mark. I definitely have something to say about that. But anyway, Rachaad White's going to get the handoff, and he just gets swallowed up in the backfield. Tries to bounce around, just ends up bouncing even farther back. So that didn't work out. Unless you're the Indianapolis Colts. Colts are able to rely on their backup quarterback. Sort of, Mark, but once again, Colts didn't make the playoffs. So that's kind of my point. Like, yes, Gardner Minshew did a pretty good job, but I think the Colts are potentially, I'm not going to say it all the way, but the Colts are definitely like a dangerous team in the playoffs this year if Anthony Richardson doesn't get hurt. Gardner Minshew did okay, but Colts didn't make the playoffs, so it's a no. Ooh, nice! Nice pass by Baker Mayfield. Gets the ball down to number 88, Cade Otton, and he goes across the field and picks up the first down. Cade Otton getting it done. Cade Otton getting it done. We are seconds away from the second quarter. As far as sinking purposes go, we got 23, 22, 21, 20 left in the first quarter. Baker Mayfield's going to hand the ball off once again to Rachaad White, and he does not go anywhere. Maybe gets about a half yard, maybe even a yard. I don't know. But not really much going on there. Now, the question here. Are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a dangerous football team? Could the Buccaneers potentially make a big run in the playoffs? You know who I'm rooting for the rest of the season? That's who I'm rooting for. Sorry, Mikey. Mikey's doing his own stream now, so not watching anymore. But that's who I'm rooting for. I want to see Baker Mayfield do it. Why? Chaos. Also, the Chiefs wouldn't win, which, I don't even think the Chiefs are going to win next week, but, counting them out is not always smart. Who's the potential dark horse to trade up to number 1 pick to go get Caleb Williams? Good question. Good question. Let's see. What teams need a quarterback? I'm so close. So close to saying the Browns, but unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I don't want to play Caleb Williams. But I'm so close to saying the Browns, which is hilarious, but I'm not going to because they just don't have the capital to do it. Unless the Bears are willing to take on Deshaun Watson, which they might. I don't know about for that money, though. Broncos, same situation. Who else needs a quarterback? Raiders, maybe? It depends on who they got coming in next, but maybe the Raiders. Raiders have draft capital, right? The Raiders have some draft capital. They're bad enough to, the Bears wouldn't have to trade down that super duper far. So if we're talking about dark horses, maybe the Raiders. I really want to say I really want to say the Browns, but I can't. If Bill Belichick's not going to be there, maybe the Patriots, because, making moves like that doesn't sound very Patriot-like, but that might be a Bill Belichick thing. So, maybe the Patriots. The Jets would be interesting. Maybe the Jets. If we're just talking about dark horses, no, because Aaron Rodgers is probably coming back next year. They want to at least try to get what they paid for with Aaron Rodgers, right? I can't imagine the Falcons would do that. Maybe, but I don't know. That just doesn't really feel like a very Falcons move to make. Eagles are all over Baker Mayfield on that one. He goes down, almost fumbles the ball, but, doesn't. Cardinals, I don't know. Probably not. Panthers obviously wouldn't. Bears have the pick. Cowboys. I don't know if they have enough. I don't know if they're willing to put in enough to do that, though, so probably not. But that just feels like such a Cowboys move to make, I don't know. Not the Lions, not the Packers, probably not the Rams. Baker Mayfield takes a snap. He's going to wind back, throws, and almost intercepted. Oh, that was so close to being intercepted. It's going to be 4th and 13. They're going to have to punt, but at least it's not intercepted. Wouldn't be shocked to see the Vikings do that if Kirk Cousins moves on. If they don't bring Kirk Cousins back, the Vikings might, trade up. I don't think the Saints would do it. I think they're too committed to Derek Carr right now, at least for another year. Giants should, but they won't. Daniel Jones, they should get rid of Daniel Jones, I think. I don't think Daniel Jones is any good. 54-yard field goal attempt is good, and so the Buccaneers take a 13-0 lead. So even though their offense stalled out, they're still putting points on the board, which is important as they try to fend off any potential of an Eagles comeback. We are in the second quarter, by the way, so I need to go ahead and update that. Yep, we are in the second quarter. Commanders, I don't think they do that. I think the Commanders are one of those teams, they'd prefer to probably pay some free agent than trade up right now because worst case scenario, you got Sam Howell, and I think Sam Howell is... You can get by with Sam Howell, especially because I don't think they're expecting to go, compete for a Super Bowl next year. So I don't think the Commanders would do it. Seahawks probably wouldn't. And then Buccaneers obviously would. I think Baker Mayfield is the new franchise quarterback in Tampa Bay. I don't think they're going to be drafting anybody anytime soon. I think Baker Mayfield secured his role in Tampa Bay. I think they found their guy. Got 2, New Orleans and Dallas. Yeah, see, I just don't know if Dallas has the capital to do it. I think they making it to the playoffs. It feels like a very Cowboys move to make. It really does, but I don't know if they would. And I don't know if they have because you'd have to trade down really far if you're the Bears, and so you need a ton of compensation, which I just don't know if the Cowboys want to give up that much. The Saints though, no, I don't see the Saints doing it. I don't think. I think the Saints they're too invested in Derek Carr right now. I think they'll give him at least another year, and I think Derek Carr's a fine quarterback. I don't think Derek Carr's the reason why you're not winning the Super Bowl, Maybe the Rams if Stafford retires. Okay, yeah, if Stafford retires, I could see the Rams doing that. I don't know. We were talking about Stafford potentially retiring, a little while back, but now I don't that was because he was all injured and stuff, Now I don't know. I don't think Stafford retires. I think he's got another year or two left in him at least. 35 years old. He's just as competitive as ever. I don't think he's going to retire. Like Stafford feels like the kind of guy who's going to play till he's like 39, like almost 40. Commanders are the favorites if the Bears stick with Fields. I don't know. I don't feel like the Commanders, because making a move like that is something you do when you're ready to go make a big move to go compete now. And I don't think the Commanders are ready to compete now. I think if I was the Commanders, I'd stick with, I'd go try to pay a quarterback in free agency or something like that. And then if you don't get somebody, then you just ride with Sam Howell. And, if you don't do particularly well with Sam Howell, then you have some good draft picks. And maybe go get a guy in a year or two. But I just don't know about going and making a big move like that now for the Commanders, personally. All right, so that that kickoff is going to be kicked through the end zone for a touchback. Trading up from 2-1. That is the thing. The Commanders being at 2 helps. But I still feel like it would require giving up enough capital because not only yes, they're trading down to 2, but and so from that perspective, it's like you shouldn't have to give up a whole lot to go up, but you're also competing with other teams. So you still have to send a trade package to get the Bears to think, we'll go with this trade package because maybe they don't really feel like being at picking that high, Maybe they're cool with picking at number 7 or something like that. I mean, it's a pretty deep draft class. But personally, I wouldn't do it because I don't really buy Caleb Williams. I don't think Caleb Williams is going to be a big gigantic bust or anything like that, but what the hell? My stream just crashed. Why did my stream crash? Oh boy, okay. Sorry if anything happens and I'm not catching it right now, guys. My stream just crashed. My internet's fine, I think. Yeah, my internet's fine, just my stream crashed. That sucks. Well, I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to bring up Game Pass or something, right? Not Game Pass, Gamecast. So, I don't know what's going on right now. Looks like Jalen Hurts passed short right to Devontae Smith, Tampa Bay 32 for 12 yards. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? Until I can get this thing going, I'm going to go into, what is it? Sorry if I don't put your comments up here in a second, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to video and screen mode, which I think. Hold on. Sorry, I know this probably looks really weird, right? There we go. Okay. So this is what this is just a temporary solution right now because this is what I got, okay? There we go. You see all the other tabs I have open, right? But why did this just suddenly crash on me? Y'all can see just the events that are happening right now. Bro, come on. Why is this just... Did the entire website just crash? There we go. I think we're back up. Not entirely sure what's going on here, but... What? Why are we doing this? There we go. Okay, see if I can bring this game back up. I don't know what the hell's going on. I had some people tell me earlier that that this website was doing a lot of crashing lately. Here we go. Okay, we're back up now. We're back up now. Yep, you get to see me being happy about it. It's over! Let's go! It's over! There we go. All right, so apparently it's 4th and 7. I guess things didn't go so well for the Eagles on that drive. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see it because my stream crashed. Sorry, guys. It's probably not. Probably doesn't work too well for you guys as far as coming here and getting commentary and all that stuff. But don't blame me. Blame Days In. All right, Jake Elliott, the guy who should have been the Cincinnati Bengals kicker, is going to come out on 4th and 7, and he's going to get that ball up, and it is through the uprights, and it's good. But yeah, fun fact, Jake Elliott should have been the Bengals kicker. Instead, we chose Randy Bullock. We drafted Jake Elliott, and then we picked Randy Bullock, who was horrendous. Jake Elliott went and won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, and Randy Bullock was just bad. And it led to us getting Evan McPherson. And Evan McPherson, has been exciting and everything like that. But it still sucks that we had to go through Randy Bullock, But, yeah, I'll take Evan McPherson. Evan McPherson's just as good as Jake Elliott. Why is that not coming up? Why is my thing not coming up? Hold on, guys. Sorry. There we go. If the Bears want Marvin Harrison Jr., they'll need to stay ahead of Arizona. Well, that's the other thing. But then again, honestly, I don't think Marvin Harrison Jr. is worth throwing your whole draft strategy into. He's really, really talented. I'm just a little worried about some of these injuries he's been having. So, I also saw some drops from him. He's fallible. So. He's a really great prospect, but I don't think he's as good as people make him out to be. As of a sure thing, I guess. He's obviously really, really good, but I just don't think he's as much of a sure thing as people make him out to be. To the point where, I don't think if you have to draft him in the top 5, I don't know if I would do it. Take a obviously take a flyer on him or whatever. If he falls and makes it to if he gets to the Bengals at 14, for example, definitely for sure going to take a flyer on him. Or are we drafting at 16? What are we drafting at? What are we drafting at? Are we drafting at 14 or 16? Either way, if it's 16, I can't imagine it's even going to make it to us. But okay, why does it keep sending me to Yahoo? Stupid. I hate Yahoo. I'm going to need to fix this. But whatever. What am I doing? Oh. 14 or 16. If it's 16, I can't imagine he's going to fall the way to us, but I definitely would take him if he does. 18. Wow. Okay, yeah. Okay, so if Marvin Harrison Jr. drops all the way to 18, then yeah, I would take him. But if I'm the Bears or the Commanders or the Patriots or the Cardinals, I don't take him that high. If you probably might need to take him that high, but I don't. I would rather have, a bunch of picks than, bet all the chips on Marvin Harrison Jr., Perhaps Dallas just throws their second-string wide receiver, or maybe CeeDee Lamb. What? Hold on a second. Baker Mayfield throws a quick screen pass to number 83, and he picks up about 3 or 4 yards on the play. Why would they do that? First of all, I don't think a second-string wide receiver is going to be enough to convince Chicago to move down to where Dallas is. Because Dallas is going to be picking at 24. There's no way they're going to take a second-string wide receiver. They might do it for CeeDee Lamb, but if I'm the Cowboys, I'm not giving up CeeDee Lamb for Caleb Williams. Because, I don't think Caleb Williams is, worth the hype. When's the last time a quarterback came in the league with that kind of hype? and they actually lived up to that level of hype. You know, like I mean, think about like all the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now, like Patrick Mahomes. I mean, people were dunking on the Chiefs for trading up to 10 to get him. Because, like, I mean, there were a lot of people who were saying he was like a second-round quarterback, you know? I was one of those people. I thought it was crazy that they traded up to get him at 10. Obviously, it was a pretty good move, but... I mean, he was widely viewed as a project at the time. Sat behind Alex Smith for a little bit and worked out really well, but still. 3rd and 6, Baker Mayfield is going to get out of trouble, and he's going to try to run for it himself. He gets it. Slides and gets down to about the 42-yard line. Not the 42, what was that, the 30-something or other. 37. But yeah, like, you know, people come in with a ton of hype. Andrew Luck was kind of living up to it, but then he obviously retired super early. Trevor Lawrence, look at all the hype Trevor Lawrence had. And, I mean, I think he's been solid, you know, like, he's definitely, like, the Jaguars' answer at quarterback going forward. But he's not the guy, he's not like this like generational all-time quarterback that we thought he was going to be. Hold on a second. Baker Mayfield, shotgun snap, hands it off to Rachaad White, who plows forward and gets about a yard. Well, all right, so, I mean, who else came in with a ton of hype? Well, Joe Burrow came in with a ton of hype, right? Like, I mean, it was very recent hype. Like, nobody was saying, like, Joe Burrow, best this or that, whatever, since John Elway, you know? Like, a couple of people said that, but it was also partially because of the recent hype of, like, he had this really good, like, senior season. But, like, the criticism was that, like, you know, where is this the rest of his college career, you know? So, I mean, like, you know, there was up and down there. Like, I mean, yes, there was some hype. All right, Baker Mayfield throws, and it's caught by number 83, who breaks like 3 tackles. And he picks up a first down. Like, no Eagles are going to be able to bring him down. That's crazy. But, like, I mean, all these like Baker Mayfield's pretty good, right? And I would argue that the Browns probably shouldn't have moved on from him. So, like, I mean, you know, you could consider Baker Mayfield a bust because he didn't get a second contract with the Browns. But I think he deserved a second contract with the Browns. And... he's doing really good with the Buccaneers right now. So Baker Mayfield, I think, you know, definitely pretty good. He was number 1 overall. But there were a lot of question marks about him, right? A lot of question marks about Joe Burrow. But these guys who come in with just like unceasing, unyielding hype typically don't turn out that good, you know? Like, not that good. And Caleb Williams, Baker Mayfield, there's a lot of drop balls today. Ball is dropped by... Cade Otton. And Baker Mayfield's getting up a little limpy. That's not good. But, yeah, these dudes who come out of the league with, like, you know, this, like, generational tag on them, like, they so rarely actually turn out to be that damn good. And I wonder if, like, the expectations you put on these players are part of what's causing the problem. I don't know. But I don't think Caleb Williams is worth that level of investment. I don't. But I know a lot of NFL teams think that he is, though. All right, it's going to be a short dump-off pass to Mike Evans. Bit of a screen pass, really. And he's going to get about 9 yards on the play. All right, there you go. I've heard some rumors that the Eagles might move on from Nick Sirianni if they lose today. And I was going to say, what? Like, I saw, you know what I saw? I saw someone praising the Eagles for being like, yo, look, this is what, like, a winning organization does, is they don't take, you know, poor results, and they, you know, get rid of people if, you know, they don't, like, live up to a certain standard. But it's just like, okay, be a short handoff for Rachaad White, does not get the first down, so it's going to be 4th and inches. But it's like, okay, so, yeah, they did that with Doug Peterson. You know, he won him a Super Bowl. They had one single 4-11-1 season. And then they fired Doug Peterson. And, I mean, what did they get out of it? Like, yeah, they got back to the Super Bowl, but Doug Peterson won them a Super Bowl. Nick Sirianni took them to a Super Bowl. So I feel it was a step down from Doug Peterson. And then... I just don't feel like the results have been, you know, enough to justify saying, like, oh, yeah, totally. All right, so it is no man's land, essentially, for the Buccaneers here. So they're going to go for it, I believe. Yep. It's going to be a short pitch out to Rashad White, and he gets some nice blocking there, picks up the first down. So the fourth down conversion definitely works out. Trade up for the number 1 pick. I don't think they should. You don't think Jerry Jones wouldn't do it? Then you're losing your mind. No, you misunderstand. Of course, Jerry Jones might try to do it. I don't know if the Cowboys have enough to entice the Bears to trade down. Like, can you imagine how many picks the Cowboys would have to trade to get up to number 1 overall, especially with all the hype surrounding Caleb Williams? Like, they'd have to trade, like, years and years of draft picks to get him. Which, I mean, maybe Jerry Jones would do it. I don't know. It's going to be a short pass to Chase Edmonds, and he just bobbles it, can't do anything with it. Probably works out for the better, though, because there's just a ton of Eagles around him, and that play is blown the hell up. The only reason Andrew Luck retired early is because the Colts literally destroying him. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I think Andrew Luck was kind of living up to, how good he was, but at the same time, like, he definitely wasn't living up to like he should have been like, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady levels of like, dominant in the NFL, and he wasn't because the Colts didn't really give him the system to do it in. And then he retired early, which again, I'm not saying Andrew Luck was, not good because he retired early. I'm just saying the Colts didn't, we talk about Andrew Luck being this generational quarterback. I don't think he quite lived up to that. And it's not his fault, but, shit happens. All right, it's going to be a quick toss to Cade Otton, who picks up about 5 yards, maybe 6. And, he didn't think he was down, but I think he was down. And, yeah, the refs are saying he's down. So it's going to be 3rd and 5. Oh, my gosh. The Bears with Justin Fields throwing to Lamb, Moore, Mooney. Yeah. I think the Bears should stick with... I think the Bears absolutely should stick with Justin Fields and just put some talent around him. I don't think just replacing him with Caleb. I think Caleb Williams wouldn't do good with the Bears either. And I think Caleb Williams knows that. Almost intercepted. Zach Cunningham almost picks off Baker Mayfield there, but it goes through his hands, and nobody can catch a ball today, apparently, at all. It's going to be 4th and 5. The Buccaneers are going to have to go for a field goal again. And Cole Kmet. Yep. Dude, it's like, if you just put some better talent around Justin Fields, like, he's got some talent, obviously, like, DJ Moore, pretty good, Cole Kmet, pretty good, but it's just like, that offensive line isn't great, the defense isn't great, you only have a couple of, like, weapons. It's kind of like Joe Burrow in 2020, like, he just didn't have, like, there were some weapons. You had T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, but that just wasn't enough. You had A.J. Green, but this was like, end of career A.J. Green. This was like, he's not going to do anything. He had that like 2-week resurgence with the Cardinals, like right before he retired, but like, I mean, A.J. Green was done. So, I mean, the Bengals were basically holding on to hope that A.J. Green still had something left in him, and they paired him with T. Higgins. But frankly, like, A.J. Green was not a good wide receiver that year. And he just wasn't available enough, He had that whole, scuffle with the coaching staff on the sideline. Like, if you're not going to use me, then trade me. And, we all kind of agreed, I think. Like, maybe A.J. Green's not in the plans. And the way he's been playing, maybe he shouldn't be in the plans. But if he's not in the plans, maybe trade him, Because, I mean, he's still got, like, something left in him. And, there's some team that will get... that will give up, at least a decent number of, like, maybe they're late round draft picks. But for this stage of A.J. Green's career, that's not, a bad haul. And then in that Cardinals-Packers game, A.J. Green had that controllers disconnected moment. Yeah, because I think A.J. Green was just kind of done. I think A.J. retired because he realized he was done. I think A.J. Green was checked out after. Like, I mean, and I get it. Playing for that particular era of Bengals, you're just constantly so close, and but like every year just ends in like basically irrelevancy because you can't win a damn playoff game. But you just get so close and fail over and over and over again. And I think that got to him over time because, like, I mean, you could see after 2015. I know the injuries and et cetera, but at the same time, after 2015, AJ Green just kind of like didn't really seem like he was like putting it all in anymore. I think that 15 playoff loss to the Steelers, I think that broke a lot of people. I think AJ Green might have been one of the people who was mentally broken by that game because he was never the same player after that game. Kind of like Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown was never the same player after that game too, for different reasons, but injury-related reasons most likely. It's probably concussion stuff, but at the same time, like AJ Green didn't turn into a piece of shit. Antonio Brown did. Which was crazy, because Antonio Brown was never really a big talker before that moment. Like, I mean, the Bengals and Steelers talked a little bit and stuff like that, but, like, Antonio Brown wasn't like, a diva or anything before that perfect hit, All right, so the Buccaneers are going to kick it away to the Eagles, and that's going to be another touchback. Which, it is interesting to see all these touchbacks after streaming that Dolphins-Chiefs game, and then just like every single kick went for like, what was it? Every single kick was like way short of the end zone, and like these teams were being set up with like great field position, which is probably part of the reason why the Chiefs kept getting field goals, because like all they had to do was like drive 20 yards and they could at least get in field goal range. And then just Dolphins couldn't do anything with it. It was crazy. All right. Jalen Hurts. Shotgun formation. He's going to fake the handoff to DeAndre Swift. And he's going to throw it to Dallas Goedert. It once again dropped. There's a flag on the play, though. I think they're saying an eligible man downfield on the Eagles. So that's going to back him up. Jalen Hurts is quite frustrated. You can see it in his eyes. He's pissed. And he's probably like, dude, I put my finger back together for this. Yep, an eligible man downfield. Looks like on number 51 of the Eagles. And that's not the roster. Number 51 of the Eagles is Cam Jurgens. Center, apparently. Yep. And, I mean, I guess, yeah, technically he was an eligible man downfield, but he was just barely downfield. But, okay, fair enough. All right, Hurts, shotgun formation, takes a snap. Rolls back, and he throws, and that time it's caught. But on 1st and 15, it's caught for like 3 yards, so it's just like, doesn't really make that big of a difference. Julio Jones on the catch. So Julio Jones making a bit of a appearance today. Once again, I totally forgot he was even on the Eagles. NFC North fans should hope that Jerry Jones trades CeeDee Lamb and 4 years of first-round draft picks to the Bears. Why? I would think NFC North fans, other than Bears fans, would hope that doesn't happen, because that sounds amazing for the Bears. All right, Jalen Hurts winds up, throws, and it is caught. And what a big hit that he doesn't go down on. Dude, he got rocked. He didn't go down. He didn't get any extra yards out of it, but it took a second person to come tackle him. He got rocked and like nothing. Just absolutely nothing. He just stood there like an absolute statue. And it was Julio Jones, by the way. He just like gets hit and he gets knocked back a few yards, but he stays on his feet and keeps plowing forward. And again, he does get tackled, but what a hit and what a survival. Damn. Good on you, Julio. Yeah, no, if I was NFC North fans, I would hope that Jerry Jones doesn't do that, because that sounds great for the Bears. He didn't meant to say doesn't. Yeah, if I was the Bears, I would take that in a heartbeat, Vontez Burfict and Adam Pac-Man Jones were idiots. Why did the Bengals keep them? Because Pac-Man Jones was a really good player, and he wasn't nearly as reckless as Vontez was, right? He got in trouble from time to time, but it wasn't a big deal with Pac-Man. And he was definitely, he was a great returner, and he was, the best cornerback they had, especially because Drake Kirkpatrick could never really develop any sense of consistency. So, they kept Adam Jones out of utility, really, because they needed to, and his play justified his actions. And Vontez Burfict, I think Vontez Burfict kind of, like, yeah, he was reckless, but, like, he got a bad rap because he just kept getting in trouble. But I think the NFL, like, put a target on his back and just, like, intentionally kept getting him in trouble. I think Vontaze Burfict got in trouble more than he was actually reckless. And, yeah, he was definitely reckless, and he had some, bad stuff. But at the same time, I think he got in trouble more than he deserved. Hurts is going to throw for it deep, and he's got a man, and that's caught! Number 6. Big, like 30-yard bomb to Devontae Smith. That was a big play right there, and that keeps the Eagles. Yeah, that gives the Eagles a little bit of life right there. They are knocking on the door right now. They can make this a one-score ball game. They get in the end zone. But yeah, the Bengals kept him because Vontaze Burfict, he kept getting in trouble, but he was a Pro Bowl linebacker. He was a really good player until he wasn't, and then he just wasn't. Pac-Man, all right, it's going to be a short dump off to Dallas Goedert. There's nobody around him. That's going to be a touchdown for the Eagles. All right, well, this game's getting interesting now. There you go. Just want to see good football, y'all. I want to see the Buccaneers win, but I also want to see good football. All right. I didn't update the Buccaneers score after their last field goal, so I'll go ahead and update that now. But pending the extra point, the Eagles are one score away. One score away. So the Buccaneers can't let up on the gas now. With 3:06 left in the second quarter, by the way, too. So definitely, if you're the Buccaneers, you definitely want to go try to get some points before the half. All right, kick is up, and it's good. There's a flag on the play, though. So before we update the score, let's see what the flag is. Yep. I figured that out eventually. All right, well, I guess the flag's on the Buccaneers, and now the Eagles are saying they're going to go for 2, which seems a little silly to me. Offsides on the Buccaneers. Interesting. So the Eagles are saying they're going to go for 2, which seems a little silly to me because that's the difference between an 8-point and a 6-point ball game. So, I'm sorry, a 7-point and a 5-point ball game. Because if you don't make it here, well, okay, I guess if you don't make it here, then it's a 7-point ball game, and it's just a touchdown. If you do make it, it's a 5-point ball game. I don't really see the upside of making it, though, because, what does a 5-point difference give you? All right, they're going to do a push. They are, and I think he got it. Oh, maybe not. I think they might have stopped him. I think they stopped him. Good on you, Buccaneers. They stopped him. Wow. I thought he got it from the angle that we were seeing it from, but, they kept pushing. The refs didn't blow it dead, and eventually Jalen Hurts went sideways. So, wow. The tush-push doesn't work. And see, that's the thing. That's the thing right there. If you don't like the tush-push, don't ban it. Stop it. Buccaneers stopped it. I hope they don't ban the tush-push because, it's just a regular damn football play, And obviously, it doesn't always work, If you don't like it, play some defense. So there you go. There you go. I hope to God they don't ban the tush push because that's just silly to me. If we're just going to be banning plays because they're successful, then what are we even doing? The whole point of football it should be that I'm better than you and I'm going to go do the thing. And so they're just going to start banning people being better than other people at football. What is more football if not the tush push? You can maybe argue that because it's such almost a rugby inspired play that there's player safety issues. If they ban it because of potential player safety issues, I won't be as mad. But if they're banning it from a competition perspective, that's ridiculous to me. If they're banning it from a player safety perspective, then I don't know. I could see both sides of the argument, but I wouldn't be too upset about it myself. But yeah. Well, nice break for the Buccaneers. They hold that 7-point lead. Helps with the momentum too, because you don't want the Eagles going into the you don't want the Eagles going into the half like that. You don't want the Eagles going into the half really feeling themselves and having all the momentum and everything like that. So stopping them on the 2-point conversion at the very least you can say, hey, we gave up 6. It's not like we gave up, like 40 or something, Gave up 6, didn't give up 8. Now again, I don't really know what the difference between a 6-point game and a 5-point game is. Why you're risking it, just take the extra damn point. But I mean, I guess it's not the end of the world. Like I said, it's a 7-point ball game. That's a very normal deficit. So, I mean, I guess might as well. But at the same time, why? Just why? I don't know. It's a weird decision to me. Very weird decision to me. All right. So, after that, the Eagles are going to kick the ball back to the Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers are going to have a chance to put points on the board before the half. Can they get it done? If not, the Eagles might get the ball back, and they could, really steal some momentum, pretty hardcore. But if the Buccaneers can do something, that'll be something to pay attention to. Great strategy by the Buccaneers, though. I see what they're doing here. They're noticing the Eagles. They're noticing what the Eagles are doing, so they're getting underneath them, and they're not letting them build that impenetrable wall. They're like, no, sir. No, sir. I know how to stop that, and I'm going to stop it. Now, I will say there's a lot of helmet pulling there, so I don't know about that. Might get some fines for that one. All right, so Rachaad White got a nice hole on the left side, and he picks up about 9 yards on the run. There does not need to be a particular sense of urgency right now. You got all your timeouts. You're well before the 2-minute warning right now. There you go. Probably should have been a penalty on the Buccaneers for that helmet pull there, but, is what it is. Steelers were getting all sorts of penalties called in their favor in that game, and they still got their butts kicked. So, all right, Baker Mayfield dances around the pocket, eventually just has to get rid of it because there's just nobody to throw the ball to. That was, if that had been a sack, it'd be considered a coverage sack. But he just ended up throwing the ball away, as he probably should have. All right, 2:20 left in the second quarter. Baker Mayfield under center. He's going to fake the handoff to Rachaad White. Rolls back, nobody around him, and he throws, and it is caught by Cade Otton for a first down, Buccaneers. There you go. And that's probably going to be the last play before the 2-minute warning. There you go. There you go. All right. Should I have a beer? I think I should have a beer. I want to have a beer. Burr. All right. We are at the 2-minute warning, and I'm going to go for the O. I'm going to go for the O. It's mostly just an excuse to go to the bathroom. They don't work. Where's your hurry? All right. Go for the O. Have we achieved it? I think after half I'll have a beer. Not really super feeling it right now. Eagles going to get the ball in the second half, so the Buccaneers really probably want to get something going here. Mayfield over the middle. Got Rachaad White, but he drops it. 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10 after the drop pass. That's unfortunate. Not like he was going to get a first down anyway, but still. There's been a lot of drops tonight. Like, is the ball wet or something? Because it's Florida. Like, you know, it's not like it can't. I've seen Floridians be like, "Look at our weather." You know, it's not cold. It's not super cold. So, like, I don't know. There's been a lot of drops today, though. A lot of drops. Like, to the point where you're like, how are these professional football players, like, dropping the ball this much? You know, like, god damn. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, would I drop the ball this much if I was out there playing? Absolutely. I'd drop it a hell of a lot. I don't think I'd catch a single ball out there. I wouldn't. Most likely. I mean, I'm sure there's probably, like, a pass or two that's happened in NFL history that I could catch out there. But for the most part, no. Like, I'm not saying, like, I could do it any better than them. But what I am saying is, like, I have higher expectations for them than I do for me when catching footballs, because they are professional football players. Some of them are professional football catchers. So this is a weird game. And a lot of drops today. All right, Cade Otton is motioning into the left side. You got 2 wide receivers out left, 2 wide receivers out right, although it appears to be that's motioning as well. Nope. All right, Baker Mayfield takes a shotgun snap. 3rd and 10. And he ends up getting he gets taken down. It takes like 3 Philadelphia Eagles to bring him down, but he does get taken down eventually. I think Brandon Graham is going to end up getting the credit on that. There's a bit of a scuffle on the field, but I think the refs are taking care of it. Woo! Eagles defense came through there. Eagles defense absolutely came through there. 4th and 17. 4th and 17, and now the Buccaneers are just going to have to punt. Looking like they were getting something going, and not anymore. Not anymore. Going to be all the way back at like the 50. There's no point in going for it here. So you're just going to punt, hope you can pin them deep, and who knows, maybe if the defense can get off the field quickly, maybe you can still go get some stuff going on. Wouldn't it be crazy if they went for it? They're not going to, but wouldn't that be crazy, though? But, yep, they are punting it. So, Jake Camarda boots it away, and that is going to be down. Oh, and it's muffed! He gets back on top of it, but that was dangerous. That was dangerous. 18 gets back up on it, but because he muffed it, it's going to be down at the 9-yard line. Dude, he just completely... Dude, that ball must be like... Did somebody, like, drop it in, like, canola oil or something? Because, like, everybody's dropping it. Man, I wouldn't be surprised if you see, like, a quarterback fumble in this game at some point. And I don't mean from, like, somebody knocking the ball out. I mean from just, like, a mishandled snap. I'm wondering if 28-3 mentally destroyed Julio Jones. I don't think so, because... Like, Julio's been better than A.J. Green. Like, yeah, Julio hasn't been the same guy he, like, used to be. He hasn't been the same dominant level receiver that he used to be. But at the same time, like, I mean, he's still, like he's still more useful than A.J. Green was after 2015 with the Bengals. Like, A.J. Green didn't do shit with the Bengals after 15. Like, he was mostly just hurt all the time, never really did anything. You know, went to the Cardinals, had that one stretch where he did really good there for a minute, but he also, like, you know, like you said, he had that he you know, had a bunch of bad stuff happen too. So I don't think it hit him the same way that I'm saying that the 15 playoff loss hit AJ Green. I'm sure it affected him, but I don't think it hit him the same way. partially because that was like, like that was rough, but it wasn't like a culmination of a lot of things for the Falcons. Like 28-3 sucked, but at the same time, it's like you made it to the Super Bowl. It's like when the Bengals made it to the Super Bowl, and I was like following that season, and like I was upset when they lost, but at the same time, it's like but like we got here. It feels like the Bengals are here as like a juggernaut to stay. And obviously we didn't get that this year with the Bengals, but it also really felt like the Bengals were heating up before Joe Burrow got hurt. So the Bengals window, to me, feels wide open still, Like, next year, going to be fine. Bengals have a ton of cap space available for next year. Whoops. Bengals have a ton of cap space available for next year. Now, obviously, you're going to have some bills coming due in a couple of years. Joe Burrow's contract's really going to be kicking in, but he's also probably going to restructure too, because that Joe Burrow, I think, values winning more than he values the money itself. And he obviously values money. He's not just going to play for free, but he also took a very like malleable deal for the team. Like, they can restructure here in a few years and create a lot of cap space if they need to. But they got like $80 million in cap space next year, which is crazy. So, I think their window's still wide open personally. Jalen Hurts, empty formation, takes a shotgun snap. He's going to throw it short. Bit of a screen type sort of pass. Number 14, is that Kenneth Gainwell? 14, I think that's Kenneth Gainwell, right? Yep, Kenneth Gainwell. Last I checked, Dan Campbell isn't the Buccaneers coach. Yeah. I was just saying that'd be crazy if they went for it, right? But there's no way. I don't think Dan Campbell even goes for it. Kenneth Gainwell is going to take the handoff this time, and he ends up slipping. They're going to call for a measurement where the ref is spotting the ball. I think it's going to be short. No, they're calling it. They're calling it good. So never mind. I thought they were calling. I guess the chain gang didn't come out at all. The initial ref his spot must have been overruled. All right, Hurts is going to roll out to the right side. He's got a ton of pressure. Just have to get rid of it. Unfortunately, the Buccaneers pass rush couldn't take him down quickly enough, because that would have been a huge play that could have been massive. But, Hurts gets rid of it. So, Eagles get bailed out on that one by Jalen Hurts. Yeah, he just had to, like, throw it to the stands there. Like, why is stuff like that not intentional grounding? I don't understand the intentional grounding rule. Because, like, from my understanding, once you get outside of the pocket, then, as long as you get it past the line of scrimmage, you could throw it wherever you need to. But then people get flagged for intentional grounding for that all the time, so I guess I just don't understand the rule. Jalen Hurts takes a shotgun snap. He's going to throw, and it is caught for a first down by not Deontay Smith. That's our guy. God, what's his fucking name? Devontae Smith. I said Deontay Smith. That's a backup left tackle for the Bengals. Or is he right? I think he's the backup left tackle. I can't remember. Jaguars should have really thought about firing Doug Peterson. They probably did think about it, but I wouldn't. He's definitely on thin ice. Like, for me, I wouldn't have fired Doug Peterson, but he's definitely on thin ice. Like, bro, that collapse was unacceptable. Like, next year's got to be better. Next year, like, that the bare minimum, you got to make the playoffs next year. And if they don't, I don't care if you went 7-10 and was like, okay, but, we have some hope for the future. But no, next year, playoffs or you're out of here is basically my perspective. Like, after that collapse, unacceptable, completely unacceptable. But no, I wouldn't fire him over that. Like, I'd be like, your job is on the line. Like, he's the type of guy, hold on, Jalen Hurts shotgun snap. He's going to wind back, throws it up, and that is caught, but I think he's out of bounds. Devontae Smith went up and caught that ball, which is, for somebody of his height, is impressive. But I think he was out of bounds. Landed out of bounds anyway. But, I wouldn't be shocked if Doug Peterson was, like, the first coach fired next year. Like, if the Jaguars get off to, like, a bad start, there's a pretty good chance they're probably not going to make the playoffs after, like, week 5 or something like that. I think Doug Peterson's out, like, quickly next year after that collapse. But no, I kind of agree with them, like, not knee-jerk reacting and firing that quickly. All right, Jalen Hurts Shotgun snap, throws, got Dallas Goedert for about a 1-yard pickup. He's reverting back to making some of the brain-dead calls that he did in Philly in 2019 and 2020. Well, okay. I still feel like the Eagles shouldn't have fired him, though, because, like, they were doing well as overall. Like, they were winning games, and they had one random bad season they got fired over it, which, fair enough, he should have been, but... Like he definitely... I don't know. Yeah, they should have done better. All right, so the Buccaneers are going to hold the Eagles to a 4th down, and I'd imagine they're probably just going to punt it here. I don't know. They'll probably just let their clock run out. Yeah, we're at halftime now. So, yep, we're going to go into halftime with the 16-9 lead for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Interesting score there. You don't see that score all the time. It's not quite scoregami, but, you know, it's not a score you see constantly all the damn time. I don't want to look up his quarterback record. Whatever. Okay, so yeah, Doug Peterson. It's 2020. They went 4-11-1. But they were in the playoffs every year before that. Like, I mean, I know they lost in the first round, but they were in the playoffs. They have one bad year, and then they go right back to winning the very next year. Like, I mean, it's not like, you know, with Nick Sirianni, they won a ton of games. They went 9-8 that year. I'm sorry, the Jaguars. You know, yeah, they went 9-8. But like the Eagles, man, like I don't think Doug Peterson deserved to be fired in Philadelphia. Bringing Nate Sudfeld over Jalen Hurts in Week 17 of 2020. I mean, that was weird, but I don't know. I understand why they did it. If they felt like he was toxic for the culture and like the relationship was broken, I don't know how the relationship deteriorated as quickly as it did, but if it did, I guess I understand why you're getting rid of him. But at the same time, if they do end up getting rid of Nick Sirianni, then I don't think it's about, you know, the Jalen Hurts thing. I think it's about the Eagles just being knee-jerk reacting idiots. So, I mean, we'll see if they actually get rid of him or not. But if they do, I think that's weird, and I can't stand behind that personally. I don't think it makes any sense personally at all. None, zero, not a bit. Not a bit. But you never know, they could do it. They could do it. If they lose this game, it's not like it wouldn't be the first time a coach has been fired for, you know, dubious circumstances, you know. Hey, Mikey's back. I'm having my biggest rage on stream ever. Why? Because the Buccaneers are winning? I'm sure. What? Wait, why? I mean, you've had some big rages over, like, Saints games. Like, I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. If the Steelers win, that makes me upset, right? But, like, I'd get more upset about the Bengals doing badly than I would the Steelers winning. So, like, I mean, why is this game making you that upset? Like, I mean, it's just a pretty standard game. Like, you know, the Buccaneers are doing well. The Eagles are, you know, playing the way the Eagles are playing. Like, I mean, it's not like there's like a bunch of like bad ref calls or anything like that. So I mean, like, why is this game the one that's getting you to rage that hard? I mean, if we're counting just your channel, yeah, I can see this being your biggest rage so far. But like, I mean, all those games you done with David, and you had like all these big moments happen with the Saints. Like, you know, I would think that would be like something to rage bigger about than like your rival team doing well. They did that with Andy Reid. They did do that with Andy Reid. The Eagles are weird. I don't understand why the Eagles do things the way they do things. And like they had a big magic run in 2016, and they won the Super Bowl, and that was great and everything. But I think most people felt like the Eagles were a fluky like Super Bowl team. Like that was kind of a weird thing that happened, that the Eagles won the Super Bowl that year. Credit to them for getting hot when it mattered. And I think that was just proof that like, anybody can, just making it to the dance is the only thing that matters, because like anybody can get hot and go win the Super Bowl. If the Eagles can do it in 2016, then anybody can do it. But at the same time, like, I don't know. It was weird to me. It was weird to me. The whole conversation is weird to me. I had nobody to watch me rage, so fair enough. But see, that's what you got to do, Mikey. Like, I can't tell you how many times I did these streams before anybody showed up, and it was completely dead radio silence. And so you just keep doing it. Eventually, you get noticed, and eventually, and then there will be other times. Like if it wasn't for Mark, my chat would be totally dead. Today, if it wasn't for Mark, my chat would be totally dead. I wouldn't have anybody to talk to. Jeff was here earlier. Bacon Man or Chief Suck or whatever was here earlier. There were a couple people here earlier, but the only one who's been talking is Mark. And if it wasn't for Mark, this chat would be totally dead right now. And so it's just like, sometimes you got to push through that. Eventually, you do get more people to take notice as long as you stay consistent and keep up with it. That's one thing I've noticed. Like, and like when you do finally start getting noticed, it kind of happens really quickly. Like a lot of people, a lot of my subs, because I'm almost at 500, which is pretty cool. It's also pretty low by like general like by a lot of standards, but like it's like I've noticed a lot of the subs that I've had have all come in roughly right around the same time period. So it's like, I'll have like, I'll get a couple trickles of like one sub here, one sub there. Like I got up to 482 and now it's telling me 481, and I don't know if YouTube really knows like how to count sometimes. Maybe I lost a sub. I don't think I did, but it just kind of like trickles over time, and then, you might get like one or two more. I don't know if we're going to hit the 500 mark by the end of the season, just because, they all kind of come in a cluster. They all the subscribers kind of come in a cluster, and so like you'll have like these big surges, and then you won't see anything for a while, and which is fine. Like I do these streams because like I watch the games anyway, so I might as well try to turn them into something, And I do these streams, like I said, to potentially have people to watch the game with, because before I did this channel, I was mostly just watching these games by myself, which it's fine. I like football enough to watch it by myself, but I also like having people to talk to about the game with. So it requires consistency, Going back to streaming. All right, well, enjoy your stream, Mikey. Just keep pushing through, man. Just keep pushing through. You'll get there. You will get there. Steelers definitely made that game a little bit more interesting than I think they really had any right in doing. But you could tell that they really had no chance, even though they the score was a little bit closer, like I said, than they had any right for the score being. But if you were watching, like I was watching Urinating Trees stream, and it's like you could tell like he was so dejected afterwards, and the reason he was dejected, even though the Steelers put on, a better performance than some of these other teams have during Wild Card weekend, but he was dejected because he knew that, it was just kind of the fact that the Steelers were in it was really kind of fluky. Like he knew that it's just like this team really shouldn't have been in it from the beginning, and like they really probably shouldn't have even been in the playoffs. They shouldn't have had the record that they did. They just had a bunch of bullcrap happen. This is BS after BS after BS, and that's Steeler football, baby. It's just this constant stream of BS, and that's really the way it's always been. Like, in my entire life, watching Steelers win football games, and maybe I'm biased because I hate them, but my entire life watching Steelers games, it's like you always chalk it up. Like you watch them play and like win these big games and everything like that. It's like there's always some BS that just kind of happens with the Steelers that makes a team that probably shouldn't have won that damn game end up winning that game. And yeah, they have their big games that they win and stuff like that. Like they have their dominant performances like anybody else does. But the level of success that they've had, from what I can tell over my years of like watching them, again through like fire tinted glasses, but still. Through my years of watching them, it's just like, that's been a lot of their success, has just been the BS, the constant BS. Ben Roethlisberger was a master of the BS, Like, there would be times where he'd just be like, scrambling around, like, looked like a busted play, nothing else was going on, and just out of nowhere, he just, like, chuck it up out of nowhere, and it would just, like, you'd be like, well, he's throwing the ball away, and then would just kind of, like, gracefully fall into some random-ass receiver's hands, and be like, what? What? I don't even think Ben Roethlisberger meant to do that. It just happened. So but that's just been the Steelers, and the reason I respect Urinating Tree, and I say he's like one of my favorite Steelers fans, like one of the few that I respect, is because like he's been admitting to this basically ever since I've been watching his channel. He's like, yeah, Steelers football, it's a bunch of BS. But from his perspective, he's a Steelers fan, so he's like, but you know what? I'll take it. But, eventually you got to pay the piper. And I think the Steelers are paying the piper now. Finally. They also have a tendency to play they have a tendency to play down to terrible competition. They do. That's been a hallmark of the Mike Tomlin Steelers, is that they have a tendency to play down to their competition. And from what I recall from, like I wasn't... I don't remember all of the Bill Cowher Steelers, but the parts I remember, when later in Bill Cowher's career, as I recall, the Steelers had a tendency to do that a lot. Like, they'd play down to their competition. They had all this talent, and they should have been beating the crap out of some of these teams, and they had a tendency to play down to teams. And like, if they didn't do that, I think there's a good chance that the Steelers win more than two Super Bowls with Ben Roethlisberger, more than one Super Bowl with Bill Cowher. But, they just, they constantly fell flat when they had no right falling flat. They won 2 Super Bowls with Ben Roethlisberger, but, it was with 2 different coaches, which obviously that doesn't take away from Ben Roethlisberger's legacy. But it does show you that, like, the Steelers are, like, I mean, give them credit. They got 6 Super Bowls. That's, as much or more than anybody else in the NFL. Thank God the Patriots finally came along and we got another team that has 6 Super Bowl rings, so we don't have to hear about the Steelers feeling like they're all high and mighty over everybody else forever because, they're like, well, we got 6 rings. Who else can say that? Well, now the Patriots can say it, and they did it a lot faster than the Steelers did. The Steelers had that one magical run in the 70s, and they held on to it forever and never let it go, acting like, what happened in the 70s mattered in the 2000s. And then they won a couple Super Bowls in, the 2000s, and they're like, well, we got 6 rings. How many rings you got? Well, okay, congratulations. You have more historical success than the Cincinnati Bengals. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I know Tom Brady has 7 rings. I'm saying the Patriots have 6 rings. Tom Brady having 7 rings is even more hilarious to me, because that means that, like, that really negates the Steelers' 6 rings thing, because like, they'll be like, we got 6 rings, man, well, you can't say anything to us, we got 6 rings, and it's like, yeah, but like, Tom Brady, one single human being who is a quarterback, has 7 rings. What does your 6 rings matter? There's one single human being within one career who got more rings than that. So, like, you can talk shit to Bengals fans by all means, but, like, don't act like, you're God's gift to creation, like you're better than everybody else because you have 6 rings. Because Tom Brady has 7. So, I thought it was hilarious. And especially because, like, the Steelers fans hated Tom Brady so much that just... I was a big Tom Brady fan for a lot of reasons. Like, dude played at Michigan, and I got a soft spot for Michigan because I hate Ohio State. B... I've always had an affinity for Boston area teams, obviously not over Cincinnati teams, but, the fact that the Patriots were a dynasty, I'm like, hell yeah, a dynasty that I can get behind. I sure wish the Bengals were a dynasty, but they weren't. And so, the Patriots winning the Super Bowl, I'm like, yeah, I'd rather see the Patriots win the Super Bowl than like the Cowboys or the Steelers or the 49ers, And then, and then he went to Tampa Bay, and I'm not going to lie to you, Mark. I haven't, never really been a big Tampa Bay fan, but I like Tom Brady. Tom Brady went there, so I started rooting for Tampa Bay just because I wanted to see Tom Brady finally get more rings than the entire Pittsburgh Steelers organization. Kickoff is through the end zone, and the Eagles are going to come out at the 25-yard line, by the way. So we're in the third quarter now. Let me go ahead and update that. Go ahead and update that. I'm going to try to put out some interesting content this year. Be a little easier with football season not being here, and so I'll be able to focus on some more creative content, but I don't know. If you want, if you have an idea of a video you'd like to see me produce, let me know. I've got some, don't get me wrong, I've got a plethora of ideas. I've got plenty of stuff that I kind of want to come out with, but, if you got an idea, let me know, and, might be fun to produce. Might help me think out of the box a little bit, too, All right, Jalen Hurts. Shotgun formation on 2nd and 11. Good first down play by the Buccaneers defense. He's going to take the snap. He's got immediate pressure, and he's going to throw it up. Nothing there. Through the hands. Eagles are calling for pass interference, but I don't think they're going to get it. And I don't think they should have gotten it either. Let's see. Let's see the replay. But, to me, it looked pretty clean. Well, okay, now I see what they're saying, but no, it definitely wasn't pass interference because number 30. Oh no, yeah, I see. So 35 got in the way for sure, but he didn't he didn't grab him or anything, So that's not pass interference. If you can't play defense at all, then what even is the NFL? Jalen Hurts takes a shotgun snap, and the Buccaneers are all over him. They sack him, and that is a big drive out of the half for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. So the Eagles are going to have to punt from deep in their own territory. If San Francisco wins, they'll join the Six Rings Club. Yeah, well, let's not have that happen. That would be nice if we could not have that happen. Just because still a little bitter that they beat us in the Super Bowl twice. And I wasn't even there for it. That was before I was even alive. Both of those Super Bowls, but still don't like them. All right, so the punt is going to go down to about the 41-yard line, and probably Eagles player stops it from bouncing, but probably shouldn't have because it looked like it was going to bounce a little farther more in the Eagles' direction. So I don't know. But the Buccaneers are going to get the ball with pretty decent field position, and we're going to see if Baker Mayfield can get anything done here. I know they got two at the expense of the Bengals, but still. Well, yeah, I don't want to see them. Yeah, they got two at the expense of the Bengals, so fuck them. Screw that. I don't want to have anything to do with that. Baker Mayfield, he's going to throw. He's got Cade Otton, who stumbles a little bit, but regains his footing and almost picks up a first down, but I think he gets pushed out just before. Or maybe not. I don't know. Because they're keeping the 1st and 10 graphic on the field, so maybe I'm wrong. Could be. Could be. All right, we are 13:04, 03, 02, 01 for any seeking purposes in the third quarter. So there you go. There's the graphic. 6 drops tonight, tied for the most by any team in a playoff game since. Yeah, I didn't see the number, but yeah. So I'm not crazy. There's a lot of drops tonight. That one's not dropped though. Cade Otton gets the quick dump off pass from Baker Mayfield, and he gets knocked over. Picks up about 3. But the ball wasn't dropped, so that's good. 2nd and 7. It's going to be 2nd and 7. Dave Canales, first season as Buccaneers offensive coordinator. Well, you know what? I did not know who the Buccaneers offensive coordinator was before tonight, so I learned something today. And you probably didn't, Mark. You probably know who their offensive coordinator is. All right. Baker Mayfield dancing around the pocket, got great protection. And he just takes forever to get anything done. Eventually, he just throws it, and it's overthrown for Rachaad White. After all that, he just overthrows it. Damn, and Rachaad White was wide open, too. Like, I don't know why it took him that long to throw the ball. Like, Rachaad White was crazy open on that play. Let me see. What's going on here? Yeah, he gets open about there. And he's way open. He should have thrown the... Baker Mayfield should have thrown that ball way earlier. That was poor. That was poor on his part. That wasn't a great play by Baker Mayfield at all. Should have thrown that ball way earlier. And I get he was under duress, but still. Get rid of that ball, man. All right, Baker Mayfield, and he's going to get sacked. So I was talking about the great protection he was getting earlier, and that protection has collapsed. So, not so good on those last two plays. Buccaneers are going to have to punt. Although they got enough yardage that hopefully they'll be giving the Eagles bad field positioning at the very least. Buccaneers been doing a lot of getting down to the opposing side of the field and then eventually just punting. Not exactly the most offensive game today. All right, so that's going to be fair caught about the 12-yard line. 13. 13. Yeah, he just got swallowed up on that play. There was no hope for him there. There was no hope for him there. But yeah, I don't want the 49ers to win the Super Bowl because I don't like. I mean, yeah, get them to 6 rings, have them tied with the Steelers. I don't know, but the Patriots already did it. I don't need anybody else to do it at this point, and I don't like the 49ers. I don't like the 49ers, because they beat us in the Super Bowl twice, and I'll always hold on to that. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Because, I'm not really holding on to it with the Rams, right? I want to dislike the Rams, but I don't. Because they beat us in the Super Bowl. But I just don't. I want to dislike the Rams, but I don't. So, I don't know. Maybe when the Bengals do finally win a Super Bowl, maybe I'll, be less, constantly anti-49ers. Because, at that point, yeah, you beat us in the Super Bowl twice, but hey, we finally got one, so, in comparison, it's yeah, you beat us twice, but we got one. So, just no more NFC West teams. I want to see, next time we get to the Super Bowl, I don't want to see the Seahawks, I don't want to see the Cardinals, or the Rams or the 49ers for that matter, because we just, for whatever reason, when we play in the Super Bowl, we just can't beat NFC West teams. So, give me the Cowboys, give me the Eagles, give me the fucking, I don't know, who else is good in the NFC? Give me the Buccaneers, give me the Packers, I just don't want to see an NFC West team. I do not want to see an NFC West team in the Super Bowl anymore because we've done it 3 times now. Now, granted, when the 49ers beat us, they weren't in the NFC West because the NFC West didn't exist. Damn, I don't even know what conference they were in. Oh my God, why is it on Yahoo? I hate Yahoo. Theo wants to say hi. Well, hi, Theo. How you doing, Theo? Okay, what? I forget what I'm even looking up now. God damn. Huh. It's gone. Oh, right. It was totally gone, but I got it back now. There's a flag on the play, by the way, while I was looking it up. Wasn't even paying attention. Oh my God. So what's the flag? There's holding on the offense. So that's the Eagles get a holding call. Then there's holding on the defense, too. So I guess they're going to be offsetting penalties, huh? Replay first down. Dude, why can I not type? Oh, my God. Great play by Hurts there, just negated by the holding penalty. So that actually ends up working out pretty well for the Buccaneers because it negates everything. But, yeah, that probably should have been a shot to the helmet, too. But I guess not. All right. It's going to be a short dump-off throw to Devontae Smith, and he just gets swallowed up in the backfield. That did not work out for the Eagles at all. It's going to be about a 4-yard loss. Okay, so in 1980, I guess the NFC West did exist. In 1970 is when the NFC West started being a thing. So I'm thinking like the Bengals didn't play the AFC North back then. They played in the AFC Central. So I was thinking the 49ers, perhaps they were in a completely different division because there was all that realignment and everything. But nope, they did in fact play in the NFC West, even way back then. So no AFC or NFC West teams, please. No NFC West teams. Couldn't play an AFC West team, obviously. Jalen Hurts takes a shotgun snap, and he's going to keep it himself. Tries to run for it, gets about 4 yards, but it's still going to be 3rd and 11. Jaguars, Browns, Texans, and Lions have never been to a Super Bowl. No, they haven't. The Lions and Texans both could make it this year. You know, the Texans, the way they dominated a Browns defense, which is just, like, the Browns defense is a really good defense. The way they played, I'm impressed by the Texans. The Texans could make it. And then, obviously, the Lions are pretty good, too. So, we could get a Texans-Lions Super Bowl. That's crazy. That's nuts. But it could happen. It could happen. We could get a Texans-Lions Super Bowl. Believe it or fucking not. Jalen Hurts shotgun snap. He throws over the middle to Goddard, and he's looking around for a pass interference call. Oh, yeah, I think he might get it. The very late flag coming in, but the flag did eventually come in. If it was going to be 4th and 9, but now there's a flag, so let's see what the flag does. He was the Seahawks OC last season. Well, pass interference on the defense. Okay, well, the Buccaneers, or the Eagles finally got a pass interference call on them. Buccaneers finally got one. Let's see. Was this really pass interference? No? What the hell? Can we see another replay? I did not see any pass interference on that play. Give me I don't agree with that. Maybe I just didn't see it, but it didn't look like pass interference to me at all. All right, so it's going to be a handoff, about a 2 or 3 yard pickup for DeAndre Swift to the left. Okay, yeah. I still don't know about pass interference, but holding, sure. Okay, so there was definitely a penalty there. I'll give him a penalty. I don't know about pass interference, but, you know, whatever. Reset. 2nd and 8. Buccaneers defense playing pretty well so far today. Jalen Hurts takes the shotgun snap. He's going to hand the ball off to DeAndre Swift, and he makes a man miss, breaks a tackle, and gets 2 yards. Well, there you go. All that for 2 yards. 3rd and 6. What a world. That was a lot of effort for 2 yards. All right. That Buccaneers crowd is getting loud, as you would expect. Jalen Hurts in the shotgun formation. Empty set, too. Immediate pressure, and he's going to have to dump it off quick to Kenneth Gainwell, and he maybe gets a yard. Maybe 2. I don't know. But it's either way, it's going to be 4th down and 4 or 5. Imagine if the Lions win 7 straight Super Bowls. What? That'd be crazy, but no, it's not going to happen. I mean, the Lions are good this year, but, like, they're not sustainably great, you know? Like, they're not going to be a dynasty or anything like that. Like, they could win the Super Bowl this year. They really could, but I just don't see them being, like, a massive, huge force for that many years to come, you know? Also, 7 straight. Bro, nobody's even won 3 Super Bowls in a row. Like, how are you going to get to 7 straight? That'd be nuts. That'd be crazy. But nobody's ever even 3-peated, much less 7-peat. Haven't had a Michael Jordan run of dominance in the NFL yet. It'd be interesting. People get pretty sick of it pretty quickly. But it'd be interesting. Yes, it would. Yes, it would. But no, that's not going to happen. That'd be ridiculous. Be insane. Literal perfect insanity. I don't know if any of y'all know Disturbed, but good band. Branded like an animal. I can feel the reserve in my mind. I don't even think that's the lyrics. Don't worry, Mikey. It's not as it's metal, but it's not like Whitechapel. So don't worry. I don't exclusively listen to like hardcore, like deathcore. That's not all I listen to. Disturbed's a lot more melodic than that. Branded like an animal, I can still feel the burn in my mind. I do believe that you made your message clear. Deprivating, isolating all that I feel, leaving me with images I know are not real, are those words of condemnation that I hear. Good song. Good song. By the way, I promise I'm a better singer than that. I've just been talking for a while. My voice is a little not fresh. Let's just put it that way. We've been going at it for about like 2 hours now, so yeah, my definitely not fresh singing voice right now. I've actually done a show where I went not a YouTube show. I used to be in a band. I used to be in 2 bands actually, but I've actually done a show where I where it was like we had like a 2-hour long set, and I made it through, but my voice was dead by the end of it. Like I couldn't talk for a couple days. It was terrible. In that case, no more bragging by Steelers fans about their 6 rings in that case. In what case? I mean, I hope they don't. They can't really brag about their 6 rings now because, you know, they're not the only ones. Kate Otten, I mean, they can. They can be like, oh, you got 6 rings, and that's pretty cool. But, you know. Anyway, Kate Otten, 7-yard pass from Baker Mayfield. Or maybe it was 6, I don't know. It was 6. Yeah, no, Steelers, I mean, look, if the Bengals had 6 rings, I'd brag about the fact that the Bengals have 6 rings. But at the same time, it's kind of cringy right now to brag about your 6 rings. Because it's like, what the hell have you done lately? You know, you've, like, had some pretty good regular seasons and then done nothing. All right, Baker Mayfield's going to hand the ball off to Rachaad White. He's got a hole, bursts through it, gets down to the 45-yard line. There you go. There you go. But yeah, I mean, like, if the Bengals had 6 Super Bowls, I'd be talking about it all the time, right? But at the same time, like the thing with Steelers fans is like, you know, you can't really say that much right now because, like, literally the last time y'all won one was in 2008, which was like 14 years ago. So, I mean, it's like those Super Bowls aren't super relevant to today's like the current sport of football. As Baker Mayfield throws to Chris Godwin for about 8 yards, 7 yards. But the current sport of football is a lot different than it was in 2008. Like, it's not a completely different sport than 2008, but a lot of things have changed since 2008. So, like, the current Pittsburgh Steelers bragging about, the Super Bowls they won in the 70s, when the game was completely different than it is now. Like, they didn't pass like they do now. They didn't do anything like they do now in the 70s. So, like, it was a completely different football game in the 70s. And then they won one in 2005 when the game was pretty different than it is now. And they won one in 2008 as Rachaad White takes it. Doesn't quite get the first down, but it's going to be inches. And it's going to be third down. So, 3rd and inches, 3rd and 1, whatever. But, like, you can talk about the Super Bowls, but most of them happened like 50 years ago. And then, like 2 of them, which, again, winning 2 Super Bowls, that's pretty good. But the 2 Super Bowls that you do have were, like, almost 2 decades ago at this point. Like, one of them was actually, like, 19 years ago. So, like, it's a much different football game. And bragging about it in 2024 is like, okay. That's a cool, fun fact that you got there. Baker Mayfield gets destroyed in the backfield there. And so once again, after the Buccaneers offense is driving, they stall out with a big sack to kind of end their drive, and they're going to have to punt. Yeah, number 64 just completely lost his man there. Who was that? Aaron Stinney? Steiny? I don't know. 6-year player out of James Madison. Got absolutely wrecked on that play. All right, so the punt. After all that, now it's a punt. And that's going to be fair caught around the 9-yard line. Pretty solid punting from the Buccaneers punter today. So, give him credit for that. Wish the Bengals had a punter who would do that. But, he's also a rookie, so I'm not going to, I feel like a lot of Bengals fans are jumping down Brad Robbins' throat being like, you're so awful. It's like, well, yeah, but he's a rookie, so, give him a chance to, develop, This is my perspective. I think they should give Brad Robbins a chance to develop. Be like, yeah, he had a bad year, but, if he has a bad year again next year, then yeah, it's a problem. Definitely bring in some competition. Maybe you go find somebody who's who can have a really good preseason and give you some thought processes. Maybe move on from Brad Robbins at that point. But yeah, I wouldn't just go sell the farm to get a new punter. I wouldn't go just straight up going into the offseason with the plan of replacing him. I would give him a chance. Maybe you bring somebody in as competition, and maybe that guy wins the competition, But I wouldn't plan on replacing Brad Robbins next year. I would give him a chance to develop, personally. But yeah, if he sucks next year too, then you got to move on. Ugh. Kind of nuts. Ugh. 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 Dude, my back. That's the one thing about watching these games for this long in an office chair is an office chair is not designed to be, basically watching your screen like this. It's more ergonomically designed than a gaming chair. I got the office chair because I felt like there's a good chance I'm going to be sitting in it a lot because, I'm going to be trying to do a lot of work at my computer and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's not meant to be sitting here watching oh, it's meant to be working like this, good posture and everything like that. But when at least when I'm watching, football or TV or whatever, I'm not necessarily watching with good posture, It's a work habit. All right, so they actually gave it to him at the 10-yard line, not the 9-yard line. Fair enough. Jalen Hurts, shotgun formation. He's got a man in the backfield with him. Got 2 to his left, 1 to his right. He hands the ball off to Kenneth Gainwell, who gets attacked in the backfield, gets out of the pressure, but he ends up actually losing more yards by trying to reverse field. And that did not work out at all. I'll tell you one thing. Kenneth Gainwell is a guy who I thought was going to be like a dark horse. He's going to be really, really good in the NFL. And I mean, he's been serviceable. He's been a nice utility player for the Eagles from time to time, but he just hasn't been that guy who comes from the 5th round that I thought he would be. Like that guy that you don't expect that ends up being like a really good player. I thought Kenneth Gainwell would be that, and he just hasn't. All right, 2nd and 16. They got the ball all the way back at the 4-yard line now. It was a 6-yard loss. Jalen Hurts in the end zone dancing around, and he's going to have to throw it, and he's got Dallas Goedert, who catches it, but was he in bounds? I am not seeing whether he was in bounds or not. Didn't look like it to me, but yep, they're giving it to him. 3rd and 6. Jalen Hurts doing a really good job of standing in the pocket calm there while he's in the middle of a potential safety. Pretty good play for him there. All right, a lot of pressure on Jalen Hurts on this next play, and he's going to get taken down, and that's a safety. And I think that's intentional grounding either way. He does get rid of the ball, but they're calling that a safety. But even if he did get rid of the ball, that's intentional grounding. And Jalen Hurts tried to argue. He's like, I got rid of the ball. And the refs are eventually like, okay, fine. You got rid of the ball. Intentional grounding, bitch. All right, well, that's a safety for the Buccaneers. And I think that might be, I could be wrong, but that might be the first time I've called a safety on this channel. That might be the very first time I have ever called a safety on this channel. So, there you go. There's a unique situation. Unique situation. Yeah, the Buccaneers, their defense is definitely pretty impressive right now. Yeah, it's 18-9 now, and the Eagles lose their single score deficit. So now it's a multi-score type of thing. There's a 9-point deficit now, and so the Eagles are really going to have to with the fourth quarter rapidly approaching. The Eagles are really going to have to turn it on here soon if they want to have a chance to come back in this one, because it is multiple scores now. You got to overcome multiple scores now. The Buccaneers, I think, despite being the 4 seed and the Eagles being the 5 seed, the Buccaneers definitely coming into this game as the clear underdogs. But I think this is some proof here that the Buccaneers are a good football team. They have their flaws just like anybody, but I think they could go on a run. I really think they could go on a run. Who are they going to play next week if they win this game? Let's see. If the Lions win 7 straight, yeah. In that case, the Steelers can't brag about their 6 rings, but I don't really think they can now anyway. Like I said, the Patriots have 6 rings, so you're not the only ones that have 6 rings now, and most of those rings were 50 damn years ago. Nobody cares. Steelers fans trash on Browns all the time because Browns fans are we have 10 championships, and they're like, yeah, but none of them were Super Bowls. That was, forever ago. They don't matter anymore. But see, here's the thing, those Steelers Super Bowls, of course they matter, but I think the Browns championships matter too. But of course those Steelers Super Bowls matter from the 70s, but they just aren't. It's not the same thing as having Super Bowls now, because the game of football today is not the same game of football from the 70s, in any way, shape, or form. The only, it's you have generally the same positions, and you have, you do have passing and running, but you have a whole lot different ratio of such. So, I think them bragging about their 6 rings now is a little silly. Mark getting hyped. Let's go, Mark. Let's go, Mark. All right. So let's see. You had the Texans beat the piss out of the Browns. The Chiefs beat the just completely unbelievably disappointing Dolphins. And then you had the Bills take down the Steelers in pretty strong fashion. Baker Mayfield takes the shotgun snap. He's going to throw, and he's got number 10, who makes a man miss, shifts, and he's down to 30, 20, and he's gone. 10-5 touchdown. What a play. Absolutely busted coverage there. James Bradbury just whiffed on that tackle. Once again, that was number 10, Trey Palmer. He's been having a night tonight. Trey, keep calling that guy's name, Trey Palmer. There you go. There you go. Keep that name in mind for my waiver wire series. Well, no, not waiver wire series, the challenges or whatever. The thing we're doing with the sponsor on the Butt Fumble channel. All right, so if the Buccaneers beat the Eagles, you had the Rams beat the Lions beat the Rams, and then you have the Packers beat the Cowboys. So, as long as this score holds, which it should, because we are now at 25-9, and it's getting to be about desperation time now if you're the Eagles. But yeah, 25-9, and so if the Buccaneers hold on to this win, which they absolutely should, even with the fourth quarter approaching, like the fourth quarter's not even here yet, and it feels like the Buccaneers are in firm control of this one. But assuming the Buccaneers win, the next week you will have the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Buffalo to play the Bills. And I think the Bills win that one, personally. I think the Bills are a better football team than the Kansas City Chiefs are right now. The Chiefs are a little more consistent, but the Bills, with all their upside and hosting it in Buffalo, I think they come away with the win there. And then I think the Texans beat the Ravens, because I think the Ravens are a good football team, but I think the Texans are more well-rounded. I think the Ravens is pretty much just like the Lamar Jackson show. And if Lamar Jackson, if the Texans can find any way to get in Lamar Jackson's way, then the Ravens aren't going to have a whole lot of an answer, I don't think. So, and then you got the Packers going to San Francisco to play the 49ers. I think the 49ers will continue their run of dominance there. You got the Buccaneers going to Detroit to play the Lions. I think I talked about this earlier. I think the ride probably ends there for the Buccaneers. They could win. That'd be interesting. But Lions probably win. Lions probably win next week in the divisional round. So you got Texans-Bills in the AFC Championship, which is nuts because neither of those teams have won a Super Bowl. So, one of those two teams would be going to the Super Bowl. And then actually in the NFC, with this model, you got the Lions and the 49ers. So, I mean, like, the 49ers would be the only team in the championship games to have ever won a Super Bowl before. So you got a 3-4 chance of a team that hasn't won the Super Bowl winning the Super Bowl this year. And so I feel like the Lions can beat the 49ers. And then Texans-Bills, I don't know. My gut says Texans. But like, I don't know. My head says the Bills. My gut says the Texans. So I don't know. Either way, that'd be a wild matchup. Either Bills Lions or Texans Lions. But hey, maybe be the Buccaneers. I don't know. I don't think they get past the Lions next week, but you never know. You would go to Detroit. No matter who wins, they go to Detroit because Green Bay is a 7th seed. Yeah, I know. But yeah, I don't think the Buccaneers will be able to beat the Lions next week. I don't think that would happen. All right, so the Eagles are going to return that kickoff to about the 27-yard line. And that is where Jalen Hurts is going to come out, and you need a touchdown on this drive, Jalen. Baker Mayfield out there just fucking wheeling and dealing today. He is on another level. Gotta say, I think the Buccaneers have found their franchise quarterback. Their post-Brady successor. I think they got the guy. I really do. Jalen Hurts shotgun snap. He's going to hand the ball off, and DeAndre Swift makes a bunch of people miss. There you go, DeAndre Swift. The Eagles have a good run there. He picks up about 16 yards. That's a nice run there by DeAndre Swift. Good run blocking, too. Haven't really seen a whole lot of that today. Yeah, they got 36 rushing yards all night, and 16 of them just came on that play. Last time they played the Eagles, they had 201 rushing yards the whole day. And there's another one. DeAndre Swift gets the handoff, and he goes nowhere. So it's going to be 2nd down and 10. No matter what, Eagles fans have already won their version of a Super Bowl watching Cowboys lose. I don't know about that. Yeah, I think the Cowboys would rather win the Super Bowl than watch the Eagles lose, personally. All right, Jalen Hurts, shotgun snap. He's going to throw it over the middle. He's got Devontae Smith. Why? I always think Deontay Smith. I don't know. A lot of Deontays and Devondres and D'Angelos and fucking, Devontae and yeah, it's quite confusing sometimes. D's nuts. I mean, you can't ever remember what people's fucking names are, man. Got him. What are my friends saying? Something about Nick Saban. Nick Saban left Alabama. Bill Belichick left New England. Warriors lost by 36. Tough couple of days for Yankees fans. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, that's exactly. Except instead of the Warriors, I get it. But for me, the Lakers are more like the typical bandwagon team. But I get it. Lately, the Warriors are definitely like the dynasty, right? But that is funny, yeah. Yeah, Patriots fans and... Yeah. I guess the Warriors are having a rough time. Whoa! Winterson finished time 2. So, I know... don't know if you're into power metal, Mark, but Winterson's a really good band, and they just finished time 2, apparently. Completely done with time 2 and they're releasing it. That is wild. I never thought I'd see the day. I never thought I'd see the day where they actually finished it. That's crazy. For reference and context, Winterson came out with an album back around the time I was in high school called Time 1, and it was a masterpiece, And so, been waiting for them to come out with Time 2 forever. And it feels like, the vocalist of the band, who is also the lead guitarist and also the songwriter, is basically his band. And it just feels like, he's constantly making excuses for why they haven't finished the album or made any new music or anything like that. And so it's just kind of become a meme that it's just it's like Half-Life, the Half-Life meme, when's Elder Scrolls 6 gonna come out? It's the same kind of conversation you have around Time 2, but apparently they finished it and it's being released in the summer, so that's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. I know they want to win an actual Super Bowl. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think watching the Eagles lose is that, but fair enough. All right, so it's a weird snap for Jalen Hurts, but he corrals it, and he's going to throw it deep out the sideline. I am officially in hell. Well, it's just the wild card round, Mikey. I think the Buccaneers probably lose next week to the Lions. I think the Lions will probably take out the Buccaneers next week. Especially with Scooter Magruder constantly calling the Eagles frauds. Well, They look a little fraudulent right now, I will say. Not like Dolphins level fraudulent, but you know what? Like, the Cowboys are kind of fraudulent. So, like, you know, Scooter Magruder, maybe look in the mirror. Jalen Hurts takes a shotgun snap, fakes the handoff, rolls back, throws. And that one is caught for a first down by Devontae Smith. And so they are getting close to getting in the end zone. And I got to say, Eagles have got to score a touchdown on this drive. Like, you're pretty much at the point where you don't have a choice. It's pretty much done. We're in the fourth quarter now, by the way, so let me go ahead and update that. Only took me a couple plays, but we got there. And I think I actually, while I was updating this, I think I missed the play. But I think it was a handoff, and looks like Cansey got him down on the backfield. So it's going to be 2nd and 12. I think that's what happened anyway. I think it was a handoff. But I did not see the play. Professionalism! That's true professionalism right there. All right, so from the 24.5-yard line on 2nd and 12, the Eagles are lining up in shotgun formation, and Jalen Hurts is taking his sweet time. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, throws across the middle. He's got Dallas Goedert for about a 6-7 yard pickup. There's a flag on the play, though. Thought I saw some holding, but I could be wrong. All right. Another ineligible man downfield penalty on the Eagles. All right, well, that's the second one today. That's Cam Jurgens this time. That's the second time today they've had an ineligible man downfield penalty. You'd think they'd learn. Damn, boys. You'd think they'd learn. Now, there's another flag before the snap even happens. It's a false start on the Eagles. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think the Eagles are choking, man. On Jordan Mailata, number 68. I think the Eagles are choking pretty hard right now. Good God. Second and 22. 2nd and 22. Jesus. And they're stopping the play again. Doesn't look like a flag this time, but I don't know what's going on. You know that ineligible man downfield penalty from earlier for the Eagles? That was Cam Jurgens. That's the second time today he's been ineligible downfield. All right, Jalen Hurts, shotgun snap, throws it in the face of pressure, gets it to DeAndre Swift, but he only picks up like a yard. Damn. Suddenly this Eagles drive is stalling pretty hard. So remember when I was saying this is going to be a pretty good football game? Yeah, the second half hasn't been quite as good. It was Tampa Bay got out to a 10-0 lead in the first half, and then the Eagles kind of started coming back a little bit, made it a 16-9 game by the half, but it's been all Buccaneers in the second half. And I mean, the Eagles have been having a good drive, but now they're just shooting themselves in the foot. Yeah, they're just shooting themselves in the foot here. 3rd and 21, shotgun snap, Jalen Hurts rolls back, gets out of pressure, throws, and he's got DeAndre Swift, but nowhere near a first down. Yeah, it's going to be like 4th and 11 or something. So they're going to have to pretty much just take the field goal here. Like, unless they're going to go for it, like they're, absolute fucking animals. I wouldn't be shocked to see them do it, but, No, they're going to have Jake Elliott come out and take the points. Get the score to 12-25 here, which is still a 13-point deficit. Kick is up and it's good. So, 13-point deficit now. Not like you were getting it down to one-score game anyway, I guess. Oh, there's a flag on the kickoff. Not on the kickoff, on the field goal. There's a flag on the field goal. What's the flag? What is the flag? I didn't see anything. I don't know what the hell's going on. The Eagles' offense is coming back on the field, though, so offsides on the Buccaneers. Wow. Damn. Maybe a little bit, but that's a bit of a lucky... That's a bit of luck there. So it's going to be 4th and 5. And I guess now the Eagles are deciding they're going to go for it. Which makes sense. You know, like, you're not going to go for it with, like, forever to go. But, you know, you're in the 4th quarter now. Probably makes sense to go ahead and try for it. You know, get the extra 4 points. And if you don't get it, you're not in that much of a worse off position than you were by settling for a field goal, really. All right, Jalen Hurts takes a shotgun snap, rolls back, got pressure, throws, and it's knocked away. It's knocked away. It's going to be a turnover on downs. Buccaneers are going to get the ball back, and it's about panic time for the Eagles now. It's about panic time if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Mikey, you can relax. We ain't going to beat the Lions. To be fair, I thought we'd be 2-15 this season, so I don't know anymore. Well, and here's the thing, like, the Buccaneers are scrappy, and the Lions aren't perfect. So I wouldn't go ahead and write the Buccaneers off just now. I do think the Lions win that game, but it's not a gimme. It's not a gimme. I could see the Buccaneers beating them. Like, I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Buccaneers beat the Lions. I'm sure you're enjoying it, Mark. I'm sure you are. If you thought it was going to be a 2-15 type of year, and you end up, winning a playoff game, that's gotta you would definitely take that. You would definitely take that. Now I agree with you. I don't think they'll beat the Lions, but they could. That's worth noting. They absolutely could. Okay, I just refreshed this playoff predictor, and it says it's got the Giants in the playoffs for some reason. What the fuck? I don't know what the hell just happened there, but I guess we're good now. Yep, Texans, Chiefs, Bills. So all the home teams won in the AFC. And then the only home team that didn't win in the NFC was the Cowboys. So that's kind of funny. The Cowboys are the only team that didn't win their home playoff game this weekend. It's pretty funny. Oof, indeed. I don't know exactly what you're referring to there, but, probably accurate. Probably accurate. Oof. I couldn't have said it better myself. Oof. It's kind of wild to me that you get 2 penalties for ineligible man downfield by the same guy, Cam Jurgens. Like, that is kind of wild to me. Because I was thinking that, like, when I was calling that penalty, I was like, in my head, I was thinking, I'm like, 61. Wasn't 61, like, I don't remember it being Cam Jurgens necessarily, but I feel like I remember it being 61. And yeah, it was 61. It was Cam Jurgens. So, what do you know? With the site randomly putting the Giants in the playoffs. Yeah, it gave him 4 extra wins. It had him sitting at 10-7. But when I refreshed it, it had him back to 6-11. I'm like, how the hell did that happen? All right, over the middle, Baker Mayfield finds number 87, and that's going to be a first down, about 15-yard pickup. There you go. 87 is Payne Durham. Of course, Payne Durham, the rookie tight end out of Purdue. That's my favorite player. That's Payne Durham. I'm a big Payne Durham fan, guys. I've just been telling people for years, like, Payne Durham. Yeah, that's the guy you want to pay attention to right there. I have no idea who Payne Durham is. Do you know, Mark? Do you know who Payne Durham is? Because I've never heard of him. All right, shotgun snap for Baker Mayfield. He rolls back, throws, caught, Goodwin, about 6 yards. Darius Slay Jr. on the coverage. I feel like I say rolls back a lot. But, I mean, they do roll back a lot. Usually it's like a 3 or 4 step drop, but, you know. Hurts and Goddard don't appear to be getting along too well right now. I can imagine. Goddard's had some bad drops. And also, Hurts has had some bad throws to him, too. So it's been a combination of things, really. 2nd and 5, Baker Mayfield. From the shotgun formation, hands the ball off. And Chase Edmonds can't really do anything with it, but he avoids taking a loss. So gets about 2 yards on the play. Shifts around, jukes, and gets out of a negative yard situation. So that's probably good. It's probably good. I gotta imagine. What do you think Clickbait Sports is gonna be like tomorrow? Because everybody on Clickbait lost except Tom Grossi, and Perna obviously didn't make it at all, and I guess 5 points didn't make it at all either. But yeah, I mean Scooter and Tree both lost, so I wonder what Tom's gonna be like tomorrow. All right, it's gonna be a pass over the middle to Cade Otton, and it looks like it's just barely enough for a first down, but it is enough. Buccaneers keeping that ball moving, which means they keep that clock moving. And at this point in the game, draining that clock is what the Buccaneers really want to do. Because, they got enough of a lead at this point that you just want to drain that clock and, don't give them really any chance. Jason Kelsey not looking too happy, I can imagine. The Cardinals are a sleeper team next year. No, they're not, Mark. No, they're not. Cardinals suck. Cardinals are going to suck for a while. Chase Edmonds takes the handoff, and he goes nowhere. There is a flag on the play, though. So let's see what the flag is. Brian Johnson, apparently the Eagles' offensive coordinator. I did not know their offensive coordinator's name was Brian Johnson, but that makes me think of the rock legend Brian Johnson, AC/DC. Thunderstruck! Apparently it was holding on Keeft. So, there you go. Keeft holding. And all that for, no gain. So now you lose 10 yards for nothing. Rough way to go. That's going to be 1st and 20. I guess you know what? Actually, because that was a busted play, that actually might be good for the Buccaneers because it gives them first down back. And there you go. Baker Mayfield finds Mike Evans on the sideline. Not on the sideline, but on the right side. And he picks up 19 yards. Might have gotten the full 20. That's a nice back shoulder throw for Mike Evans there. And Darius Slay just got cooked on that drive, or on that play. Mike Evans gets it right there. And I don't think he got quite enough for the first down, but he got pretty close. This is going to be 2nd and 1. Little bit more control when he could have had that first down, and that would have been pretty funny, but no such luck. About to run out of time here, but they don't. They do get it snapped, and they hand it off to Rachaad White, who bursts right through that line, and he picks up a first down and about 9 more yards on top of it. So the Buccaneers are driving, and they're taking a lot of time off the clock, and they might score again. So yeah, this game's about over, honestly. If the Buccaneers score, I'm going to go ahead and call it and say it's over. We'll stay here till, it's my rule. My rule is we'll stay till 0-0-0 on the clock. But yeah, this game's pretty much over. If the Buccaneers get any points, even a field goal, if they push the score to 28-9, I think it's over. I think we can pretty much just call it. All right, Rachaad White takes the handoff, and he doesn't do anything with that at all. Hey, I told anybody that would listen during the offseason in 2021 that the Bengals would win the AFC North. People thought I lost my mind. Yeah, well, I was telling people the same thing in 21, and people thought I was a homer. And I can understand why you would think that. But if you know anything about my channel, it's that you know that I try to be objective when I'm talking about, the NFL. I call it like I see it. And it's the same thing with the Bengals. I'm not going to say the Bengals are going to win their division unless I think they're going to win their division. Now, I wasn't thinking Super Bowl. I was thinking that they get their first playoff win that year. So while I was ecstatic that they beat the Raiders, and as you know, I mean, just a reminder. That's how
Let's go, baby! Let's go! It's over!
That's how I felt, just as a reminder. But I was thinking they win a playoff game and then they lose the next week. Nope. Marched all the way to the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, couldn't get it done when they got there, but whew, that was pretty cool. All right, Baker Mayfield finds Mike Evans on a nice little quick slant route, and I think he picked up the first down there. Mike Evans having a pretty good game today. Definitely been a big part of their plan. What's the box score looking like? Then again, the next offseason, I said the Jets would win the AFC East. Well, not sure why you thought that. I mean, like Zach, I've never believed in Zach Wilson personally. I thought the Jets could have done it this year with Aaron Rodgers, but we never got to find out because he got hurt like pretty much immediately. So. I want to see what the box score is looking like right now. It's been a not so friendly day for the Eagles. The Buccaneers currently have a 99.9% win probability, and we still got like 7 minutes left in the game. That's how dominant they've been, especially in the second half. And it's just an extra 9 points in the second half so far. They haven't scored once in the fourth quarter, although they're probably going to here soon. Rachaad White takes the handoff, and he picks up the first down. Only picks up about 2 yards, but only needed about a half a yard. All right, box score. Rachaad White's had 69 yards today. Nice. Probably have more than that by the end of the day. But the Buccaneers as a whole, 110 yards rushing. Receiving, Cade Otton has been the biggest contributor, 8 receptions for 89 yards. David Moore, 2 receptions for 66 yards, but one of them was that 44-yard touchdown, so that was a big one for him. Trey Palmer, 1 catch for 56 yards. I've been calling his name a lot today, so I'm surprised that he's only had 1 catch. Mike Evans, 3 catches for 48 yards. Chris Godwin, 3 catches for 22 yards. Payne Durham, from earlier, 18-yard, 1 catch. Chase Edmonds, 1 catch for 8 yards. Devin Tompkins, who I don't remember seeing that name before, but that's 1 catch for 4 yards. And Rachaad White, 1 catch for 3 yards. And there's going to be another handoff to Rachaad White. And he's going to pick up about 3 or 4 yards there. So that'll push his total to 73. Kalijah Cansey's gotten a sack today. That was a guy I was actually looking for the Bengals in the draft. And then Vita Vea's gotten a sack today. And then Joe Tryon, another guy I was potentially looking at for the Bengals in the draft. And apparently he's added a hyphen to his name now. So he's now Joe Tryon Shoyinka. Interesting. All right. Handoff from Baker Mayfield to Rachaad White goes backwards and ends up getting tackled backwards. About a 2-yard loss. This past offseason, I said the Commanders would win the NFC East at 10-7. Why did you... Okay, I don't really get why you thought the Jets were going to do well last year. Darius Slay's hurt pretty badly on the field. He's not looking good at all. But, Jets, why? I don't know why you believed in the Jets last year, and I don't know why you believed in the Commanders this year. Like, not me. Not me. Did the Eagles remove their 9 points? Oh. Somehow Wait, no, that didn't get deleted. Oh, I accidentally hit the... Yeah, I accidentally did that. I don't know how I accidentally clicked that. But they might as well have. Like I said, this game's basically over. Like, they got a 99.9% chance to win already. The Buccaneers do. So, I mean, it's pretty much over at this point. Like, I mean, the Buccaneers are in field goal range already, and you only got 6:11 left in the game. I think it's pretty much over for the Eagles at this point. That's really just because like the Buccaneers defense showed up in the second half. And the offense, they got that touchdown and they got that safety but you know, like the offense has been driving the ball, but what the offense has really been doing is they've been eating up clock. And they haven't been letting, you know, the Eagles really get a lot of opportunities, which is the main thing. They haven't been putting points on the board, but they have been holding on to the ball. And, you know, I've been saying, you know, they've been doing a lot of driving down the field and eventually punting. They did get that one touchdown, but in the third quarter. But in the fourth quarter, you know, they haven't been doing a whole lot except for holding on to the ball, which is a big deal, especially when your defense is playing as well as it is. Just an all-around great performance by the Buccaneers. And I got to say, we didn't end up getting... I was hoping we'd get a good football game. You know, it was an interesting first half. You know, we've had a lot of interesting halves in the wild card round so far, but not a whole lot of interesting games. This game probably great for you, Mark, but yeah, not overall from a neutral perspective, not that great of a game. Bills Steelers. Not a very good game from a neutral standpoint. There was, very briefly, the Steelers kind of made it interesting, but not much. Lions-Rams was a good game, though. Lions-Rams was the one good game. Packers-Cowboys wasn't a very interesting game. Cowboys kind of made it a little interesting there at the end, but, again, not much. Chiefs-Dolphins was an awful game. Like, basically unwatchable game. Like... I swear to God, if the Chiefs... So there was somebody asked me in the comments, like, you know, are you going to, like, how much pain are you going to be in if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl? You know, if the Chiefs keep playing like that and they win the Super Bowl, I'm going to be in a lot of pain. And it's not because, like, oh, the Chiefs won, I'm sad now. It's not going to be because of that. It's because I'm going to have to watch that fucking football team for the rest of the postseason. And if, like, all their games are like that, good God, who wants to watch that? And then, obviously, you know, the Texans-Browns game was, again, a little interesting in the first half, but, like, Joe Flacco imploded. So, you know, we've gotten one good game in the entire wild card round, and it's Lions-Rams. So, like, this one looked like it was going to be interesting, and then just, like, the Eagles just fell apart in the second half. Bengals, Chargers, Patriots, Titans, Bears, Cardinals, Commanders, Panthers. All right, is that what you're saying? Is that your predictions for who wins their divisions next year? Or was that this year? Because, like, next year, you're out of your mind if you think the Chargers and the Patriots are winning their division next year. And the Bears, again, out of your mind. Wait, what are you looking at? Are those the teams who are in last place? Because those are all the teams who were in last place in their divisions this year. Like, all of them. Is that what you're saying? Like, the Bengals are in last place, the Chargers last place, Patriots last place, I think. Titans last place. Bears are in last place in their division. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you just gave me that list without context, yeah. Because I was sitting there thinking, you're not saying those teams are going to win the division next year. Like, maybe the Bengals, you know, they'll get Joe Burrow back next year. They could have done it this year if Joe Burrow didn't get hurt, but... All right, Baker Mayfield, immediate pressure. He's just got to throw it up. And oh my God! What? Chris Godwin comes down with a touchdown on a busted play. Immediate pressure in Baker Mayfield's face, and it's a touchdown. That's a Ben Roethlisberger touchdown right there. What the fuck? What? He just got... There's just immediate pressure in his face, and Baker Mayfield's like, "Oh God, I just gotta get rid of it," and then out of nowhere, holy crap, Baker Mayfield and Chris Godwin for having the heads up to go get that ball. What? Oh my God! Holy crap! All right, and yeah, it's over, guys. It is over. All right, and the extra point's good, 32-9. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. This game's over. Not the stream. I'll still be here. We're gonna get this. We're gonna finish this stream out. But woo, this what a choke job by the Eagles. What an absolute choke job of the Eagles. They not only lost the stranglehold they had on the NFC East. We were talking about them as like, the Super Bowl favorite earlier this year. And I know they're banged up and everything like that, but still, what an absolute choke job by the Eagles. This one's over, guys. Less plays. One of them will go from worst to first. Well, I'll tell you right now, I genuinely, the Bengals will. Like, Joe Burrow comes back, as long as he's healthy next year, the Bengals will go from worst to first. They could have won their division this year if Joe Burrow didn't get hurt. And then, let's see, other than that, Chargers, no. Patriots, no. Titans, probably not. The Titans more so than those other twos, though. The Bears, probably not. Cardinals, no. Commanders, no. Panthers, no. So like the Bengals will go from worst to first next year. I practically guarantee you that as long as Joe Burrow's healthy. And then other than that, it's like maybe the Bears. Not the Bears. Fuck the Bears. Maybe the Titans. But I mean probably not because the Texans just look like they're ready to dominate, One of Chiefs, Ravens, Bills, Texans, 49ers, Lions, Cowboys, Buccaneers will go from first to worst. Let's see. Chiefs, no. That would be hilarious, but no. Jalen Hurts, shotgun snap. He's going to throw it short to DeAndre Swift, and he breaks a couple tackles, gets himself a first down. So that, yeah. Cool. This game's over, so it doesn't matter. But Ravens, no, they won't. No, I guarantee you. I think the Browns are about to go back to, no. I think the Browns are going to go back to some semblance of irrelevancy. I think the Steelers are going to be bad for a long time, though. Like, I don't know how long. Jalen Hurts gets sacked, by the way. Pretty big sack. I'm 12. Yeah, I think the Steelers are going to be the worst team in the AFC North next year. Bills, no. Hell no. No, the Patriots are going to be bad for a while. Texans, no. There's no way. I mean, I'd be... The Titans are the second most likely team on that list to go from worst to first. But I still don't think, even if that happens, I think the Texans would be probably 2, right? Jalen Hurts, shotgun snap. He's going to dump it off short to DeAndre Swift, who gets past the line of scrimmage, maybe a couple extra yards. That's about it. Again, Bills, no. Texans, no. 49ers... I can't imagine. No, because I don't believe in the Cardinals. I know you said the Cardinals would be a dark horse. I don't think they will be. It's going to be 3rd and 8, by the way. Cowboys, I don't see the Cowboys being, worse than the Giants. There's no way. And Buccaneers, well, Jalen Hurts, shotgun snap. He's going to throw, and it's caught by Dallas Goedert. First down, there's a flag on the play, too. Dallas Goedert's in a pile on the ground. It looks like he's hurt. That's not good. Mark, I hate to break it to you, but out of all those teams... Hold on, let's see what the flag is. Pass interference on the Buccaneers. Okay, well, that'll... hopefully Dallas Goedert's okay, but... that'll give the Eagles some extra yards, I guess. But, again, this game's over. Nobody fucking cares. But anyway, I hate to break it to you, Mark, but the team that's most likely to go from first to worst next year is the Buccaneers. And I don't think that happens either, by the way. I think you're wrong that a team will go from first to worst next year. Because I don't see any of those other teams doing it unless you have, like, some major injury. Like Patrick Mahomes has a season-ending injury next year, then maybe the Chiefs go from first to worst. Even then, I still think they probably won't. But, like, Lamar Jackson, if he gets hurt for the season, the Ravens, I don't think are that competitive. So maybe. But it would require an injury for any of those other teams. The Buccaneers, I don't see it. But out of all those teams, the Buccaneers are the most likely team to go first to worst next year. But, again, I don't think that's going to happen either. Dallas Goedert walks off under his own power, so that's good to see. I think on the next commercial break, I need to take the dogs outside. Jalen Hurts on 3rd and 18 under shotgun formation, and he's got a lot to go here. All right, throws, and it's caught and immediately falls down. That's about like a 6-yard pickup for Zacchaeus. I don't know who that is. It's going to be 4th down and like 14 to go. Of course they're going to go for it, but that was Olamide Zacchaeus. 5th-year wide receiver out of Virginia, apparently. All right. All right, 4th and 12. Jalen Hurts takes a shotgun snap. Rolls back. He throws, and that's caught, but nope. Nowhere near 1st down. And Smith just ends up running out of bounds. And the Buccaneers are going to take over, and the Eagles have no more timeouts. So, I mean, it's pretty much just like, you know, like if I'm the Buccaneers, my focus is running the clock out here. Hold on. I'm going to go let the dogs outside real quick. Let's go, boys. Yes, well, let's boys. Go. All right, 3rd and 3:12 left to go. 1st and 10. And yeah, I just straight run it for the rest of the game here, personally. Baker Mayfield hands the ball off to Chase Edmonds. It's about a 4-yard pickup. They're fine with that. They just want to keep that clock moving. Man, we got one good game in the wild card round. We got one single good game. What a rip. What a rip. Every other game sucked. I mean, this game was... I think most of the games had, like, good parts, but, like, you know, for the most part, it was just a lot of blowouts. You know, at least ended in a lot of blowouts. So, you know, Mark, I'm sure you're happy because your team won, but, you know, the actual, like, quality of football here wasn't exactly very high. Like, as a whole, anyway. Chase Edmonds takes another handoff, keeps his legs moving, almost trips, but doesn't. And he picks up about another 4 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 2. Get your food in a second, okay? Be patient, please. Be patient. Be patient. You don't want to come in? You don't want to come in and say hi. You want to come in and say hi to people? You want to come in and say hi? Say, I'm Bark Salami. It's a berry. Bark, come here. Come here. It's okay. Yes. There's a good boy. Bark's a lot more timid. Bark is, okay, he's just backing up now. All right, fine. Bork is quite a timid creature. Bark is not. All right, we got a commercial. I'm going to give the dog some food. Want some food? Let's get some food. Did I miss anything? It's 3rd and 2. Chase Edmonds runs the ball, and he gets stopped. So the Buccaneers are potentially out. No, they'll probably take a field goal here. It's at the 36, so they'll probably try for a field goal. Yet people put the Ravens from worst to first in 22 in pen. Ravens going from worst to first in 22. But they weren't worst in 2021. What? Like, the Ravens didn't finish last in 2021. What are you talking about? I'm really confused. Baker Mayfield's going to hand off the ball on 4th and 6. Why? It didn't work. It's going to be a turnover on downs. I guess, again, who cares? Game's over. Might as well. Guess they were just trying to keep the ball and run the clock out. I don't know. Weird decision. But anyway, it's going to be a turnover on downs. The Eagles going to get the ball back with 1:09 left to go and a what is that? A 23-point deficit. Yeah. What do you mean the Ravens going from worst to first in 22? They weren't worst in 21, were they? Going to be a handoff by the Eagles, and I think the Eagles just gave up. They're not even trying anymore. Nor probably should they. Oh yeah, I guess the Ravens were last in 2021, but like technically by a technicality. Yeah, well, so they had them going from worst to first in 22. Well, that's silly because still got to contend with the Bengals, which, you know, were considered to be one of the up-and-coming best teams in the NFL at the time. I don't know why people were saying that. Gonna be another handoff to Kenneth Gainwell. He picks up about 3 yards. And they're just letting that clock run out. So I think that's about it. I think that's going to be about it. The Buccaneers advance, and the Philadelphia Eagles season ends in anticlimactic fashion. The 49ers have dealt with their entire team falling apart in 2018 and 2020. That's true. That's true. Not to mention in 2020, the 49ers lost 80% of their team to injury. They also lost their stadium, and their injury cart broke down on them. Yeah, I remember that. That's 49ers have been through a lot of adversity, and you were starting to kind of wonder, like, what's going on with the 49ers, because it seems like they're always super injured all the time. So it's like, what's up with their training staff? But, you know, they stay contending, though. Yeah, they had divisional record tie with the Browns somehow, but yeah, for that I totally forgot that they finished 8-9. For whatever reason, I thought the Steelers were, but I do remember now the Steelers actually were the 7th seed in the playoffs that year as well, and they just got absolutely obliterated by the Chiefs in the playoffs. So yeah, that was definitely how the 2021 season went. All right, well, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for this game. It was looking like a pretty close, fun, interesting game in the first half, and then just nothing. The Eagles fell apart, completely shot themselves in the foot over and over and over and over again in the second half. And like, I mean, the Buccaneers did well, but it's not like the Buccaneers dominated in the second half, like, at least from an offensive standpoint. You know, they just they kept the ball and they took what they had. They took what the Eagles gave them, and the Eagles basically just handed them the victory. Like, you know, here you go, take it, have fun. So yep, the divisional round is now set. So next week you will have the Chiefs traveling to Buffalo to play the Bills. You have the Texans traveling to Baltimore to play the Ravens. You have the Buccaneers traveling to Detroit to play the Lions. And you'll have the Packers traveling to San Francisco to play the 49ers. So that's what we're looking at next week. And if I had to bet, I'm thinking Bills beat the Chiefs, Texans beat the Ravens, Lions beat the Buccaneers, and then 49ers beat the Packers. That's my guess. That's my predictions for next week. We'll see if I'm right. Don't know. I will be streaming some of those games. Don't remember which ones I'll be streaming, but I will be streaming some of those games. If I had to bet, most likely, I don't know any of those. Like I really want to stream both of those AFC games. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but I might. I don't know. I might stream both of those AFC games. If I could, I'd stream all of them. I just don't think I'm going to have time to do that. But, yeah, really, really fascinating stuff, man. Really fascinating stuff. I would love to stream both of those AFC games, though. And then the NFC games, not that I'd be against streaming them, but if I got to pick, I would definitely prefer to do, like, Bills-Chiefs and Texans-Ravens, because I think both of those would be really good games. And then the NFC games should be good games, too. I just, personally, I don't care that much about the Packers, and the 49ers, I don't care that much about them, but also, like, ugh. And then, like, Buccaneers, Lions, I don't really want either team to lose that game. I want both of their seasons to keep going. So, I don't know. I'm less interested in the outcome of the NFC games, though. So I'll probably try to stream the AFC games next week, depending on what the schedule is. But we'll figure it out when we get there. There was a few people saying the Bengals were a fluke in 20. No, it wasn't just a few people. There's a lot of people saying the Bengals were a fluke in 21. It was really stupid and annoying. And it's like, no, dude, you guys don't pay attention. Like, you don't see what the Bengals are building here. Like, Joe Burrow is the team, and Joe Burrow has arrived. So if Joe Burrow's good, this team's going to be good. And I think that has pretty much, like, played its way out so far, Joe Burrow was good in 21. They went to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow was good again in 22, and they went to the AFC Championship game. They were really close to going back to the Super Bowl. And then 23, he got hurt, and they didn't make the playoffs. So, no, the Bengals weren't a fluke. Joe Burrow's just the man. And then, they had a lot of other, good stuff going on too. But, I mean, really, it's Joe Burrow. It's in Cincinnati, it's the Joe Burrow show. And then there's other people who helped Joe Burrow, because obviously Joe Burrow didn't have any help in 2020, and look what happened. But it's the Joe Burrow show. So, I mean, it's not a fluke, because Joe Burrow's not a fluke. Just dropped by to say hi, Kyle. Hi, chat. What's going on, John? What's going on, my man? My mom's attacking me. I'm sure she is, the way you go crazy sometimes, Mikey. First time that Patrick Mahomes plays in a road playoff game. Really? I mean, I guess, now that I think about it, I guess, yeah, that's true, but it's just like, that's weird. That's really weird to think about. Texans Packers Super Bowl, I got off stream. I don't think Texans Packers. I'm thinking Texans Lions maybe. But I mean, I don't know. I think it's either going to be the Texans or the Bills in the Super Bowl for the AFC. The way things are going right now. Out of those two, I'd probably place my bets on the Bills, but that would require betting on the Bills, which is not something I want to do. So, I don't know, we'll see. The two AFC games next week are on different days. Well, there you go. Okay, so if they're on different days, I might do both of them then. I might do both if they're on different days. It also depends on what, like I don't know if I have anything going on those days. We'll have to see. I wonder who said the Saints would win the Super Bowl. I don't know, Mikey. I wonder who was that? Who said the Saints would win the Super Bowl? It's on the tip of my tongue. I don't know. It'll come to me, though. It'll come to me. Who said the Saints would win the Super Bowl? But anyway, I'm going to go. I got to finish up a few things before I get the luxury of going to bed. I really want to fucking go to bed. So yeah. Yeah, I'm going to head out of here. But until then, y'all can always catch me at Kyle Phelps92 on Twitter, Facebook.com/Phelps, Battle of Ohio podcast on the spot. We're not on the Spot Pod Network anymore. We're independent. We're by ourselves. And then Butt Fumble Sports. And please subscribe here. You know, I'm depending on the day, I'm either 19 or 18 subscribers away from my end of season goal of 500 subs. And if we get there, I promise you I'm going to be putting out a lot of content. I'm probably going to be anyway, because even if we don't hit 500, I'm going to be so close that I can fucking taste it. So, you know, I'm going to be, you know, probably trying to pump out the content this off season. Maybe we'll do baseball content or soccer content or something. I don't know. Like, I don't really want to do baseball content, but I guess if the Reds get really good, maybe I do some baseball content. Or if Ellie De La Cruz goes on another, like, you know, like thing where he like takes over the world, you know, might have to cover it. I like soccer better though, so I don't know. Maybe I get a hair up my ass and I do basketball. I don't know. Probably not, but some of y'all seem to like basketball. So John says go Cardinals, which I'll tell you one thing. I'm not a big baseball guy, John, but I do know that I'm not supposed to like the Cardinals. So I can't, you know, morally, legally, whatever, can't condone that one, because I do know that as a Reds fan, I have to dislike the Cardinals. I'm morally obligated to dislike the Cardinals. So, you know, I like you, John, but I can't condone that one. So yeah. She's attacking me because she likes the Eagles. Well, she's probably not happy. They got obliterated. And they didn't even really feel like an obliteration. It's just like the Eagles didn't do anything, and the Buccaneers just stayed steady through the whole game. Like, the Buccaneers just, you know, kept, like, slowly putting up points, and the Eagles did nothing, and eventually the Buccaneers, in their slow matriculation of putting up points, just became too much for the Eagles to overcome. And so you get 32-9. Even though it didn't feel like a 32-9 game, you know? It's like a lot of these other games. Like, you had a lot of these other games. You had Texans-Browns. Didn't feel like a 45-10 game or whatever it was, you know? It's just the Browns imploded at one point, and then it got out of hand. The Chiefs-Dolphins didn't feel like the Chiefs dominating that game. It's just the Dolphins were so bad, and eventually they just lost control. The Steelers-Bills felt like it was going to be like a one of those 70-20 type of games, but you know the Steelers kind of like, you know, got their heads out of their ass a little bit in the second half and made it slightly less embarrassing. Still 35-17, but not as bad as we thought it was going to be. Eagles-Buccaneers. That didn't feel like a 32-9 game. It just kind of turned into that. Lions-Rams was close the whole way throughout, so the fact that it finished by 1 point, that was pretty good. But it was a good, that was the one good game from this entire weekend. The rest of them were, they all had their moments, but none of them were particularly good, except for the Chiefs and Dolphins, which had 0 moments. That was a bad game, period. Unless you're a Chiefs fan, you're probably pretty happy about it. But outside of being a Chiefs fan, that wasn't a fun game. It wasn't a watchable game. It wasn't an interesting game. It was just the Dolphins being pathetic and the Chiefs just skating by. And then Packers-Cowboys. I mean, that's got to be a fun game because a lot of people hate the Cowboys, right? And it got interesting in the second half, but you know, overall, I'd say, like, you know, the Packers dominating is, like, that's kind of cool for a few minutes, and then you just move on to the next thing. So, definitely Lions-Rams best game of the offseason. Or offseason. Best, for me it is. But of Wild Card weekend, Lions-Rams was the best game. So, what will be the best game next week? Will it be, let's see, Bills-Chiefs, Ravens-Texans, Lions, Buccaneers, and 49ers, Packers. Probably, I'm just gonna place my bets, but I think the best game, the most watchable game from next week is probably Bills Chiefs. Feels like it should be the most watchable game next week. I think it's going to be Ravens-Texans, though. I think that one's going to be fun. I think the Ravens-Texans game is going to be interesting and fun. And if we get like, you know, the Lamar that we've gotten all year, then it's going to be an interesting, fun game. If we get the Lamar that we're used to, maybe not. Like the playoff Lamar we're used to, it won't be an interesting game. But if the teams that I expect to show up in that game show up, then that could be a really interesting back and forth fun game. Chiefs Bills might be fun because of, like, you know, the rivalry and the back and forth and stuff. But like, I think the actual game itself will be, you know, it'll probably be close, but I think it'll be kind of boring too. And then Lions Buccaneers could be fun, but I have no idea what we're going to get out of that game. And then 49ers Packers just feels like it's going to be a 49ers blowout, you know? But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Reds and Cardinals have a bit of a rivalry. I'm aware. I'm aware. I don't know much about it. I know when I was a kid, I thought Mark McGwire was really, really cool. You know, me and my dad went to St. Louis one time to go see him break the home run record. And then he didn't. Fuck that guy. But I got Dippin' Dots, and Dippin' Dots are awesome. But I don't know. I never personally had a problem with the Cardinals. I just grew up and found out apparently I'm supposed to hate the Cardinals. So, okay, boo Cardinals, I guess. I don't know. I don't hate the Cardinals. The Pirates, I do dislike the Pirates because the you know, Steelers and you know, black and yellow. I don't like the Pirates. I know I don't like the Pirates. I don't have to know anything about baseball to know I don't like the Pirates. So there's that. That was about 10 years ago, the Reds-Cardinals brawl. I think I remember that. I think I remember that. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I was nervous down 2 minutes in, so happy that the Lions won. Go Lions. Yeah. No, dude, that was a really good game. That Lions-Rams game was super, super fun. I'm really glad we got that one because the rest of the slate from Wild Card Weekend hasn't been particularly, you know, at least wire to wire hasn't been great. You know, great moments from all these games except for Chiefs Dolphins, which was just pathetic the whole way from both teams. You know, like I said, the Chiefs ended up scoring like 20-something points, which is great, but it never really felt like they earned most of those points. They just kind of fell ass backwards into them. Watch the Texans-Ravens be a defensive slugfest. Could be. It really could be. Because, like, I mean, like, you know, one thing I'll say about C.J. Stroud is there are times when C.J. Stroud's a bit interception happy. And the same thing goes for Lamar Jackson. Like, they both can get a little turnover prone sometimes. So you could see, like, you know, like with the Ravens and Texans, they both have, like, scrappy defenses who are opportunistic. So you could see that scenario play out. You really could. See, the Cardinals are good. Well, they were in the 90s when Mark McGwire was taking a bunch of steroids and hitting a bunch of home runs. But I didn't realize it at the time. I was just like, hey, home runs, that's cool. And that's literally the only thing I knew about baseball was that home runs were cool. So, Brandon Phillips and Yadier Molina. I miss Brandon Phillips. Like, again, I'm not a big baseball guy, but Brandon Phillips was cool. I miss Brandon Phillips. He's a former... Oh, so he must have retired. Wait, really? Dude, he's 42. When did he retire? He retired in 2018. He's been gone for a while. Who am I thinking of then? I don't know who I'm thinking of, but I do miss Brandon Phillips. Brandon Phillips was a fun guy to have in Cincinnati. Looks like the last time he played was in 2018. He played with the Red Sox. Left Cincinnati and didn't really stick around anywhere. But, yeah, no, I miss Brandon Phillips. I wish we didn't have to move on from him. But I also get why we did. He was getting old, and, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. And yeah, I know you're happy the Rams lost because, Stan Kroenke. Fuck Stan Kroenke. Yep. That did. Somebody came in the chat earlier, and I was talking about how I was like, I can't quite think of, like, even though, like, they beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl and boo and all that, but it's just like I can't really think of any Rams players that I actively dislike. Like, is there anybody on the Rams that would make me hate the Rams? And I'm thinking, I'm like, I like Stafford. Aaron Donald broke my heart, but I still also like Aaron Donald. He's a dominant defensive player, and he's fun to watch. Like like Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Allen Robinson. Like, I like all those guys. I'm racking. I don't like Jalen Ramsey all that much, but other than him, I don't really hate Jalen Ramsey desperately. So I'm just trying to think, like, is anybody in St. Louis that just makes St. Louis hate, or anybody on the Rams who just makes the Rams hateable? Oh, Stan Kroenke, of course. Yep, Stan Kroenke. Fuck Stan Kroenke. Glad they lost, because fuck Stan Kroenke. It's a shame that he got to win a Super Bowl. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But like I said, I think I'm done for tonight, guys. I'm going to go and try to finish this project that I need to finish, and then I want to go to bed because I'm tired. So, yep. I'll see y'all next week. Like I said, I think I'm gonna try to stream both AFC North. I'm gonna try to stream both AFC games. Probably won't stream the NFC games, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all can always find me and all the stuff that I said before. I'll leave y'all, as always, with a hoo-day!